Eh bien, bonsoir à tous, bonsoir à toutes. J'espère que vous allez bien, j'espère que vous êtes en forme. Vous n'êtes pas sans savoir qu'aujourd'hui, il y a la conf Ubisoft Forward, tout simplement. Donc la conférence Ubisoft, enfin conférence. Voilà, l'événement numérique de Ubisoft, tout simplement, qu'on va suivre ensemble. Donc j'espère que vous êtes chaud, j'espère que vous êtes prêts. On va essayer de passer un petit moment tranquillement tous ensemble. On va se mettre comme ça pour l'instant. Ça doit commencer. Il y a apparemment un pré-événement à 20h et un événement qui commence donc à 21h. Sinon, on passera une heure à discuter comme ça. J'ai pas trop le choix. On fera faire comme ça, tout simplement. Mais normalement, il y a un pré-événement à 20h. Ça commence bel et bien comme c'est prévu. Mais écoutez, on le regardera. S'il n'y a pas le pré-événement, ben, on le regardera pas. On fera comme on peut, tout simplement. En tout cas, j'espère que vous êtes en forme. J'espère que vous allez bien. C'est l'essentiel. C'est l'essentiel. Alors, hop, hop, hop. Moi, de mon côté, tout a l'air plutôt bien réglé.
Good morning, good afternoon, and/or good evening, folks, and welcome to the show. It's a big day for Ubisoft here, and we are super excited you've joined us to see what we have to share. My name is Chris Waters. I'll be your host for this first little bit here as we play some Trackmania, get into the competition and creativity of Ubisoft's latest release. So before I introduce my competitors below, let's talk schedule. Right now, we're taking a look at Trackmania. We're going to talk with the developers. We're going to play the game a little bit. We're going to show off all that this game has to offer. At 11:30 a.m. following this bit, it's going to be the Ubisoft pre-show. Ghost Recon Breakpoint team is going to show off more about the AI teammates.
Écoute, y a pas de souci, on
va
regarder ça.
Is going to share an update, and we'll see news from Trials Rising and a whole bunch more. Once that's concluded, it's going to be time for the main event, Ubisoft Forward, at noon Pacific time. Or when that timer reaches 0. That's the main showcase. We'll see Watch Dogs Legion. We'll see Assassin's Creed Valhalla and some new announcements as Ubisoft shows off the latest and greatest just for you. After that, it's going to be Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're taking an in-depth look in the post-show, so be sure to stick around for it all. It's going to be a fun day. Now, if you see a code on screen pop up, go ahead and enter that into Uplay on your PC for a chance to win a free copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Far Cry New Dawn, Trials Rising, or The Division 2.
Un Trackmania. Je ne connais pas trop le concept. Je connais de nom, hein. De nom, je connais très bien même.
Excited to have you here. A great time in this warm-up mode.
Great time. I mean, I feel like were you slightly sideways? I mean, that's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's always a good time.
Fred Carmichael, I know that you are known to throw a flip or two. How's it been going out here for you?
It's not going so good right now.
Ok, donc là pour l'instant il n'y a pas de traduction française, hein, c'est vraiment juste du gameplay Trackmania. On va voir ça pendant un petit moment.
The slowly part of that answer. Richard, what do you think?
Hey, yeah, oh no, I'm super happy. Yeah, you all take.
Et en vrai, ça a l'air quand même sympa, hein.
Take it nice and slow. I would love that.
Taking the scenic route.
Well, you know, this downhill route is definitely trickier than it looks. But fortunately, we're playing time attack here. This is the classic Trackmania mode for anyone who's familiar. You just get, you know, we're on the track for about 3 minutes, and we get
Uplay code pour Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Trying to set the best time and trying to top those leaderboards before it is through. Oh.
It is dangerous, though.
It is.
Hills are unforgiving.
I feel like it reaches a point where you just decide to like throw the hammer down and like.
Yeah.
At this point, control goes out the window. I'm just gonna try to careen down as fast as I can.
Ah ouais, mais je ferai jamais de la vie assez rapide pour les taper. Mais il y a des codes là, Assassin's Creed.
I don't care what way.
I love how 3 of us have like 21 seconds right now.
I know, we're really close.
Il y a des codes pour Assassin's Creed, prenez-les les gars. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, là, il y a des codes qui défilent.
Is that what they say?
What do they say about going upside down?
No big deal. Just got my fastest time. No big deal though.
What was it?
17 seconds.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
set the time to beat here.
It may have been luck, but
yeah, it may have been luck. Yeah, it may. Oh man, now I'm feeling bad.
You didn't talk to your car enough.
Nah, you're right. Yeah, you know what? I should have meditated. Yeah.
gotta
Give it a little
commune,
pat on the
commune
head.
with the vehicle as you were talking a big game about like connecting on a spiritual level with your car.
You know what? I heard that from some like other drivers. You know, it's best if you kind of.
Ok, comment on se cache la conf en offrant des cadeaux, c'est cool. Enfin, la conf, là pour l'instant c'est l'avant-pré-événement, donc on a encore le temps, mais...
17 seconds. Oh, you even improved your time a little bit, Rich. Belinda, you're nipping at my heels here. This is.
Bon, en vrai, en
this
tout
is
cas,
super
Trackmania, ça a l'air
competition.
sympa, hein.
I like this.
Ça a l'air sympa.
I don't-
More tumbling down than driving down.
Ça me donne envie d'essayer, en vrai.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
Ça
I
me
can
donne envie de
keep it in
tester.
control, but then I'm going a little too slow, and then I start going fast. Oh man, someone's definitely on the,
Yeah.
the lid.
It's all over for me. I can't do anything.
I'm trying the super
I
fast.
have 20 seconds to beat 17.
No.
Oh, I don't think I'm gonna beat it.
Oh man, yeah, this is down. Do I have one last
Oh,
ace
man, I'm
run?
upside
in-
down.
Oh no.
Let's
Nope,
get a
no, no.
12-second run here. Let's go.
Me and Belinda are literally upside down at the same spot.
I see you.
En vrai, entre potes, je pense que c'est ultra plaisant.
Oh,
Not nice.
no, I don't know how you got 17 seconds, Fred. Like,
Oh, Fred takes the time attack. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, now we're gonna mix it up and we're gonna check out some rounds. Let's get into that. Now, rounds is where you race the same track. Everyone starts at the beginning at the same time. and
Commencez tout de suite
finishes.
comme ça par
You
offrir
don't
de
get to, like,
Assassin's
lose
Creed
it
Odyssey.
one run,
En
and
plus, il y a
then
beaucoup de codes
get
qui
points
défilent, hein.
based on your
Ils en offrent pas un
placement.
petit peu.
And then
Bon, moi, je l'ai déjà de
after
toute façon le
round,
jeu, donc c'est pas très grave.
three
Que
per
j'avais pas le temps de
track.
noter, mais
Whoever's the point winner
c'est déjà très fort dès le début là. D'entrée, ils attaquent fort. Et en vrai, Trackmania, ça a l'air plaisant de ouf.
The
Hein.
trees are much more dangerous.
Il me donne envie de jouer, c'est con là.
Oh no!
Oh, no, I lost.
there we go. I like it. I like it. No, don't treat. No, okay, cool.
Don't tree.
Il me donne envie de jouer.
Don't tree.
Il me donne envie de jouer.
Belinda, you were zooming though.
I was zooming, but then the trees happened.
I
All
tried
right.
to cut through the dirt, and that didn't end well.
The cut through the dirt, yeah. I feel like Trackmania, if you're gonna take a shortcut, you better be airborne or something, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're scrubbing speed off badly.
that where you
All
have
right.
complete control.
Oh, the wall, man.
I mean, I'm consistently fast as long as the track is just going in a straight line.
Yeah, which works for me, dude. It's
Not
you-
really the
Oh,
Trackmania
I
vibe.
cut through, I cut through, I cut through, I cut through.
That mantle is all yours, Fred. See, I think I'm figuring out what happened. The previous round, I talked to my car about going fast and not necessarily managing the bumps.
Oh, pour l'instant, c'est sympa, mais c'est pas.
The car's just like, oh, we want to go fast now, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go fast.
Gotta go
Oh,
fast.
Rich is out to a commanding lead
Yeah,
here.
he's got a lot of points up there. I don't
20
understand what's
points.
going on.
I
What's
gotta.
going on is that you are losing.
I'm never making that turn. I don't
No!
know how you make that
Oh,
turn.
that's it.
Oh, cut through.
It's like one false move.
All right, Fred, I see you.
There we go.
Et franchement, ça a l'air quand même ultra plaisant et ça a pas l'air simple à maîtriser en tout cas.
Actually
Points.
catch up.
You got the
Yeah.
points.
right now.
You got 10 points,
Je
Fred.
sais pas si vous avez déjà joué à Trackmania, n'hésitez pas à me dire votre ressenti sur le jeu. Hein. Moi, en tout cas,
Rich up top.
qui ne connaît pas du tout ça, ça me donne envie d'essayer avec Thor, Chris. Je vois bien Chris dans ce genre de jeu. Gobelet. Ce serait vraiment une bonne soirée, je pense. Je sais pas si 5 c'est le nombre de joueurs maximum. Si on peut être encore plus nombreux, ce serait encore
Now
mieux.
it's time to tangle with a little bit of the more, I don't know, challenging is the right word, but
Genre une soirée abonnée sur Trackmania, ça a l'air sympa.
right from the start.
Ça a l'air sympa.
Yeah, I was flying.
Don't fly over the edge. Oh, you all instead ran right in front.
There we go.
Usually I fly over the
Nice
edge, so
start.
I'm already doing
Les codes
well.
Assassin's Creed, ils défilent, hein. Ils en envoient, hein.
I'm loving this start.
Ils en envoient, hein.
Why,
Fast.
why are you zooming like this?
Ils offrent là les codes, hein.
How is everyone so fast? I don't
Oh no,
understand.
oh, I went up too high on the wall. Oh, okay, recovered.
Ils
That was
offrent
pretty
v'là les
sick,
codes,
actually,
ces
bounce
salauds.
off the wall. I mean,
This is where it
Made
all
it.
falls apart.
not great for
Oh,
my
here's
time.
the drift.
Yep.
Turn right to go left, turn right to go left.
I don't like that at all.
It's like unmanageable.
This huge ice wall, you mean? I think
The
it's kind of fun.
giant ice.
Oh,
No,
what?
no. Oh, gotcha.
The trick is you just
Smoked
don't
me at the
slow
end.
down
It
at all.
did.
Ooh, Fred
Yeah,
out to the early lead. Nice.
Yeah, Fred, I'm gonna need you to hit one of those pillars.
All right, I got you. Got you right.
No problem. No problem. Happy to apply. Very considerate of you, Fred. All right, you can tell when I'm making not a great maneuver by when my voice.
Oh, Rich.
Franchement, ouais, une soirée abonnée sur ce jeu, je pense que ça peut être cool. Hein.
Killer curse, the cursed
Et oubliez pas de
pillar.
noter les codes Assassin's Creed, là, les gars. Hein. Allez dans Uplay, notez-les. Essayez de choper votre jeu. Soyez vifs. Soyez vifs, ils offrent masse code, là, vraiment. C'est pas un petit peu de code qu'ils offrent, ils y vont. Hein. Ils y vont franco sur les codes, donc profitez-en.
I don't appreciate that, Rich. I don't appreciate that.
Profitez-en.
Ooh, all right. Well, as Belinda and I battle it out for third.
Et ça continue de défiler. Hein. Je sais pas combien ils en offrent, mais
She's good at this.
je m'attendais pas à autant de cadeaux, en tout cas.
At the top, battling for that
Je
top
m'attendais à un
spot.
code de temps en temps, pas un code qui défile en continu, là. Yo, Dojin, comment va?
Oh, the pillar. I made it.
Va sur Uplay, Dojin, rentre les codes, là. Ils offrent le jeu. Ils offrent Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Fais-toi plaisir. C'est quoi? Bah là, c'est la conférence Ubisoft, mais là, c'est le pré-événement, là, c'est Trackmania. Mais sur Uplay, ils offrent Assassin's Creed Odyssey, là, tu vois les codes qui défilent. Donc, essaye de choper un code avant les autres, et tu pourras choper ton jeu. Fais-toi plaisir. Je l'ai déjà. Ah ben, si vous l'avez déjà, c'est tant mieux pour vous, par contre. C'est comme moi, du coup. C'est juste au cas où. Impeccable si tu as bien Dojin. Alors dites-moi, qu'est-ce que vous attendez de cette conférence, les gars? J'espère qu'ils vont parler de Watch Dogs Legion, bah oui. Mais oui, qu'ils vont parler de Watch Dogs Legion, c'est sûr. C'est certain, c'est certain. Sûr et certain qu'ils vont en parler, c'est annoncé. Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, plein de jeux, ils ont dit qu'il y aurait aussi des surprises. Putain, j'espère toujours un Splinter Cell, mais je crois que c'est mort, hein, malheureusement. Je pense que c'est mort, mais j'espère.
Feeling good? You feeling spry?
Yeah, I'm good.
I like it.
Je suis hypé sur Watch Dogs.
Could you please, like, not-
Watch Dogs, j'ai pas aimé le 1, j'ai pas spécialement adoré le 2. Ouais, je vais certainement. Je le referai peut-être en live le 2, enfin, en tout cas un ou deux lives dessus, c'est pas sûr, mais peut-être. Mais je suis pas spécialement accroché, donc hypé par Watch Dogs sans plus, en vrai. En vrai, sans plus. J'ai pas trouvé que c'était des jeux exceptionnels. Oh bah Far Cry New Dawn maintenant ils offrent. Ils offrent Far Cry New Dawn pour ceux qui veulent. Notez les codes, notez les codes. On va dans Uplay.
Oh, you're gonna recruit us.
Yes.
You're right.
Now we're all teaming up.
Faites-vous plaisir.
I mean, his gamer tag is UBRich. Is that a promise if we comply?
Yes, it absolutely is.
You will be rich.
Absolutely. You will be rich.
Be rich in satisfaction that Richard won, I guess.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a number one spot at least once during this
Take
diggity
it.
dang broadcast.
I'm happy with
Ils offrent pas mal de codes de
like
nouveau
the
sur Far
bronze.
Cry New Dawn, donc essayez d'en choper un si vous l'avez pas.
Is up there.
Yeah, I don't know how he's doing that.
Ooh, it's just, I told you, you gotta talk to your vehicle.
Pour moi, le meilleur truc c'est choisir son perso parmi tous les PNJ. Ah, je jouis. Oups, je l'avais pas dit. Ouais, ça je trouve stylé, mais après c'est pareil. Si t'as pas de héros, que tu choisis vraiment ton personnage comme ça, hein, au pifomètre et que t'as pas de héros défini en fait, je sais pas comment ça va se passer, hein, mais si t'as pas de héros défini, tu vas avoir du mal à t'attacher au personnage.
This is gonna settle it.
Parce que tu pourras en changer autant que tu veux, et du coup tu vas pas avoir le.
Taking
Les-
the scenic route.
Tu vas pas avoir un sentiment d'attachement à ton personnage et tu vas pas accrocher aux gens. C'est ce que je crains moi de ce principe. Après le principe est super cool hein, pour apprendre qui tu veux, contrôler qui tu veux, quand tu veux, etc. C'est super stylé, mais
I'm scared to go off the track. I don't know how you
à
guys
voir.
avoid it.
à voir, à voir, à voir.
Fearless.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I mess up right there every single time.
Mais ouais, Far Cry New Dawn là, notez les codes là, si vous l'avez pas, vous allez dans Uplay, vous tapez tous les codes qui passent là,
No.
en essayant d'être le premier et le plus vif.
That's so bad.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh man.
It's worse when you think.
I can't believe I messed up again.
Ooh.
I did it again.
Yes. I was never really worried. I was never really worried. I always knew how this.
You're
Yeah,
sweating.
mascode, hein.
His palms are sweaty.
Il donne mascotte quand même. Hein. Il régale. Hein.
Oh,
I don't like
live
that.
rank in there. UB Rich wins the match. GG.
GG.
GG's.
Nicely done. All right, folks, that's gonna bring our little let's play.
En vrai, ça doit être chaud de choper un code. Les gens, ils doivent être tellement à fond dessus. Il faut taper tellement vite. Waouh.
Belinda, nice work out there.
I tried.
Mais bon, ils en avaient quand même pas
I
mal.
just
Donc,
love the scenery. I was just
vous avez une
taking
petite
my
chance.
time.
Listen, it's fun to get out there in a fast car and just do some things.
I agree.
Peut-être après la
Right,
conf,
Carmichael?
Azat.
Close, but no cigar this time around.
Après la
Are you
conférence,
plotting
pas
your
pendant la
revenge
conférence,
already?
après la conférence.
I'll
Quand on
get
aura
it
tout
next
vu.
time.
On va pas débattre de choses qu'on n'a pas vues.
Maybe next time, or are you just going off into the sunset with this W?
I mean, I'm definitely driving off into the.
Après qu'ils aient tous parlé, ouais, on peut se retrouver sur Discord pour
even
débattre
if there
avec
is
plaisir.
a next time, I don't think he's gonna beat me.
And thus a rivalry is born, or maybe continued.
Yeah.
Yeah, continue, definitely.
Thank you all for joining so much. Folks, coming up next, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the map editor and some of the creation tools in Trackmania. But first, let's do a little schedule check-in. After our Trackmania segment here, it's going to be the Ubisoft Forward pre-show at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Time.
Le pré-show, bientôt, hein. Ça, c'est les heures américaines, donc...
Getting an update from the crew too. Trials Rising will be showing off
Ça
a
sera,
fan favorite,
ça sera.
and we'll see a whole bunch more
Ça sera vers
games
30,
on
je crois,
display.
20h30, c'est ça?
Then at noon,
Si je dis pas de
Pacific time,
bêtises.
when that timer runs out,
20h30, on a le
it's gonna be
pré-show.
Ubisoft Forward, the main showcase.
À 21h, il y a l'Ubisoft
Assassin's
Forward,
Creed
donc
Valhalla, some
les
new
nouveaux
announcements,
gameplays,
and
les
more.
nouveaux
Don't wanna
annoncements,
miss that one.
dont Far Cry
And after
6.
it's over, stick around for an in-depth look
Bah, Far
at
Cry 6, de toute
Assassin's
façon,
Creed
ouais, c'est
Valhalla.
annoncé déjà, hein,
That's
c'est déjà
all
sûr.
coming
Ils
up
vont en
here
parler là
shortly.
aujourd'hui.
But now, I've
Ça,
got
ça va être
Augustin
lourd.
De Vita, producer at Ubisoft Nadeo, the
Voilà,
creators
pour l'instant,
of
ils font leur
Trackmania,
Trackmania jusqu'à 20h30 là. Mais je connaissais pas, enfin, je connaissais de nom Trackmania, mais de mes souvenirs, en tout cas, j'ai jamais joué. Et en vrai, je trouve ça stylé de ouf. Hein. En vrai, je trouve ça stylé de ouf. Je sais pas si vous avez déjà joué à Trackmania. Je sais pas ce que vous en pensez. Dites-moi votre ressenti sur le jeu.
And also, folks are out there creating stuff. We see right here, we're seeing some map creation sped up. We got a little time-lapse thing pre-prepared for us here as we talk through the map creation mode. But I guess give us like an overview starting off, Augustin. Like, what was your team's goal when like putting these creative tools in the hands
Mon chat est sur les codes, merde.
We always want to...
Ah ouais, mais pourquoi ils ont changé les codes de place, ces connards? Putain, maintenant j'ouvre un truc qui a rien à voir là.
Oh. There is too many blocks in the game. There is 1,600 blocks in the game actually, and so we had to organize all the tools and to organize the new features. And he's doing a great job right now because he knows what he's doing. But when
Je vais à la Z-LAN, la compète avec Cash Prize, j'espère me qualifier pour y aller.
It's really hard to get to.
Bah écoute, je te le souhaite. Mais ils ont même leur Ubisoft Forward là sur les putains de codes. Eux-mêmes, ils ont pas prévu qu'ils allaient changer le code, le truc de place. Abruti.
Yeah, that's how it works. Every piece of the map is what we call a block. So it's
Ah, ça a l'air stylé la personnalisation des maps et tout, franchement.
Like diagonal, you have roads, you have decoration, you have checkpoint, start, finish, you have boosters, and all of this makes a map.
Bah, Dojin, du coup, tu me diras si t'as réussi à choper un code, hein, si depuis avant t'es en train d'essayer.
Combination possible in the map editor.
Ça fera plaisir si t'arrives à en choper un.
There's also trees, as I know from personal experience.
Yeah, you can get into them pretty quickly in the game.
So we're seeing here.
Je vais pub le live. Merci à toi, Zato.
The player's not just sort of creating the map; they're also like, okay, I added a little bit. Now I'm testing.
Après, je suis très mauvais en anglais, mais rassurez-vous, la conf elle est sous-titrée en français, donc on pourra suivre. Et si vraiment vous avez le moindre problème, un truc que vous comprenez vraiment pas, vous pouvez quand même me demander. Je comprends un peu. Je le parle très mal, mais je comprends un petit peu. Si vraiment il y a des questions, je peux y répondre. Peut-être. J'essaierai en tout cas.
You know, to try to reproduce or to do better than him. So you can try every part of the game and get really good in really good map for the players.
Interesting. Okay, so when you're starting out, you know, obviously we're seeing someone with some map creation skills. But when players are starting out, you know, are there some tools to help them out? Is it pretty, you know, what do you recommend?
Franchement, c'est stylé, je trouve.
When you're starting out, just try to make like a simple shape, or you know, try to just put in a sick jump, and that's good.
Yeah, well, in the free version of Trackmania, there is what we
On a entendu un français parler anglais, ouais. Bah, producteur Ubisoft, Nadeo, là, je crois, il est... Je pense qu'il est français, lui.
And the simple editor is like a best of blocks, so the blocks you need to do like...
Même l'autre, il se marre, regarde-le. Regarde-le, le Chris Water en haut, là, ils se font la gueule.
And I recommend to start with this, and then after you can get to the advanced editor and make crazy stuff like he's doing right now.
Regarde, ils sont la gueule.
Now, is that advanced editor
Il dit, tu
pretty
parles comme un
similar
chinois,
to what
bâtard.
the Trackmania team uses to create the actual tracks in the game?
Yeah, it's exactly the tool that we are using every day to make the track. Every tool we put in the game, we give it to the player as well, so they can make the same track as us.
Nice. So you can challenge people to beat you.
Allez, Dojin, chope un code.
Yeah, and sometimes they're better than us. They do tracks that amaze
Ça va le
us.
faire.
I mean, I played some tracks that I always remember because it was so great.
Ah, The Division
when you
2,
hire
The
them
Division
for the
2, je
team,
répète, The Division 2, les
Yeah,
codes.
it happened.
The Division 2, les codes.
The guy doing the video right now he used to be a player and he's still a player, and now he's working with us. And we always have like pro players coming into the team and designers and level designers.
That's very cool. So,
Impeccable,
I
ça,
mean,
ça.
we're
Si jamais on
talking here
comprend
about
pas
the
quelque chose, tu
Trackmania
nous
community
expliqueras alors.
then. You know, there are people out there going to be creating these tracks. If they're creating the tracks, they want people to race on them. How do they get
Par contre, le
folks
Chris
in the
Water, là,
seats
c'est un vrai anglais.
to race on the
Clairement.
track?
It's
Anglais,
really
américain ou je sais
simple
pas,
with,
mais
with the next Trackmania.
il parle bien, lui.
Because
Il a le bon accent.
now,
Il est pas
once
comme
you're
moi,
done with
il est
your
pas comme
track, you can just
Augustin
put
de
it out there
Vita.
on what we call a server review, a map review server, and they can, like, everybody can come up and test your tracks. They can rate your tracks, and when they rate it, they give it, for example, 5 stars. Afterwards, if your track is good for the players and we decide it's good, we're going to add it at what we call track of the day.
J'ai juste
which
pas
is
l'accent.
like
Mais l'accent, c'est dur à
from
choper, de
creating
toute
the
façon.
game, and everyone is going to play it for sure. Every day there is a new track made by the players.
Nice. And so there is also that like server where
J'ai l'accent
any player
d'Augustin.
just kind of go in and be like, let me see what new creations people have today, and then rate them. So
Pauvre
if you're
Augustin,
just
ça va devenir
maybe
notre
looking
mascotte.
maybe for inspiration or just looking to try some
Billing.
wacky new tracks. That's a spot
Yeah,
people can go.
exactly. That's why I do. I always go to this server like every day and try new maps, even if nobody is like pushing a map right now. There is always maps pushed earlier in the day, so there is always tracks to test and new tracks to test. It's really great.
Nice. And so if you get that, so you get your track in there, you get enough stars, get considered by the team, and you select them as a track of the day, then you know people are racing it, and there's some incentives for people to get on that track as well, right?
Yeah,
Merci à toi,
every day
Zat.
there will be what we call a competition, a daily competition on this new track at 7 p.m. CST, and this competition rewards with what we call trophies, and those trophies gives you like a rank in a global rank in Trackmania. So every day you have to come, if you want to come to compete on this track, and then you earn trophies and you get better in the game and you can rank up in the global ranking of the game.
En vrai, c'est stylé, hein. Franchement, c'est
Nice. And
stylé. Là.
speaking of
Les créations de maps et tout,
competition,
elles sont
we are gonna be
stylées.
seeing some of the top community racers take on this very track here in just a few moments, folks, in our next segment. Right now, we're talking with Augustin about creation in Trackmania. And so far, we focused on the map editor, the track creator that we're seeing in kind of a time-lapse fast forward here. But there's also other creative outlets. I mean, you can customize, for example, the livery on
Je
your
trouve ça
car.
très très cool.
Yeah, what we call skin in Trackmania. So you can create any skin you want with what we call a skin painter, and you can share it really easily with the world within clubs. In just one click, you can find
Pardon, désolé.
new skins that you like, and you can apply them or add them to your favorites. It's really changing game.
Je répète, hein, les codes sont sur The Division 2 maintenant. Si quelqu'un est intéressé, chopez les codes.
What's your approach here, Augustin? Do you like pick one you like and stick with it for months, or are you like switching it up every other day, mixing it up?
Yeah, I'm switching every day to a new skin. I just go to the list and see, oh, this one is nice, so let's apply it, and then I have my skin in the game. So
En vrai, c'est stylé, vraiment.
every day I change skin.
On peut faire plein de
Excellent.
choses
Yeah, it's so fun to
différentes.
see what people come up with, and I imagine this is also something for you. You know, these are the creation tools you use, your team is used to create the tracks, the skins, etc.
Après, on sent que le gars qui est en train de créer la map, là, on sent que c'est un gars de chez Ubi qui a déjà créé beaucoup de maps, hein, parce que la vitesse sur laquelle il va pour placer ses trucs. Le mec, il connaît les bails. Hein. Ils ont pas pris Jean-Kevin dans sa chambre. Hein.
new things every
Ils ont
day.
pris le gars qui a déjà créé
Yeah,
des maps.
it's,
Hein.
it's blowing us.
Il connaît le jeu.
And one of the things that I have really enjoyed, you know, even when not playing Trackmania, is seeing some of the like highlight reels people put together, because as we'll see a little bit later on, and as you folks who know Trackmania know very well, Trackmania tracks can get pretty wild, and the kind of precision, the like just like excellent slick like drift precision that people can display looks really cool, and you have some in-game tools to help people showcase that stuff.
Yeah, on every track you can save your replay, and then you can use it to make your own videos. So this tool is as well the tool that we're using to make trailers, and at the same time players can make their trailers. They can add up, I don't know, 1,000 cars on the same track to do like a wave, what we call 1K project, and it's really cool to see what they can do with that, because they can change the light, they can change the skins, they can change the color.
Il y a quand même beaucoup de choix, même pour les décors et tout. Hein. Franchement,
the editor, and it's really great.
je suis assez surpris. Je pensais pas que c'était aussi complet.
Don't forget to save your tracks when you're creating them, folks. And we'll be taking a look at this. There's an autosave. Excellent.
Yeah.
Augustin, you put a lot of people's hearts at ease just then. We'll be taking a look at that track in action in just a few moments here. But Augustin, before I let you go, I wanted to touch base on just kind of again that community aspect of, you know, how do people find these creations?
Ça rend très bien.
What's a great way, like there's the club system that sort of allows people to connect to different clubs of friends.
J'espère que le son est bon par contre du live.
On certain types of races and et cetera, et cetera. Just give us an idea of how people are going to share these creations and discover people's creations.
Yeah, so in the game there is what we call clubs, and you can create or join any clubs you want, private, public, with friends, for example, or just a streaming community within a club. And within those clubs, you can share skins, you can share maps, you can create what we call a campaign, which is the same tool we're using to create our own campaigns with 25 maps. And you can create also events, so people can gather around and use the same skin, for example, have a club tag and compete within each other on leaderboards and share everything they can. They can also share videos, for example. It's really
Excellent. Great. Well, it sounds like there's lots of tools for folks to get creative, to share those creations, to discover
beaucoup de code, hein,
stuff,
vraiment.
in addition to just racing.
Chopez-les, les gars, chopez-les.
Off of each other.
Yeah.
Excellent. Augustin, thank you so much for
Chopez-les.
joining us to talk a little bit more about Trackmania. Folks, remember Trackmania is available now. Download and play it for free on the Epic Games Store and on Uplay. Augustin, thank you for joining us and congrats.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great.
All right, folks, we've got some competitive play coming up here just shortly, but first, another schedule reminder of the order of events today. Our Trackmania showcase continues until about 11:30.
Ok, là, on va voir les astuces de pro
Ubisoft Forward pre-show.
pendant 10 minutes, et ensuite, ça sera le pré-show.
Breakpoint. Getting updates for the crew, too. Hearing from Trials Rising about a special new track for fans who like long rides, and a bunch more. Then at noon Pacific time, it's the main event, Ubisoft Forward, with Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and more
Augustin,
from
ce sera un
Ubisoft's
mème.
upcoming lineup of games. Stick around immediately following the show for a deeper look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Go,
And for now, it's back
go
to
faire
the
un
track.
mème, Augustin.
Joining me now is Omar Benabala,
Ah là, attention, c'est un
live
pro là.
producer at
Là, c'est un pro
Ubisoft
qui va
Vidéo,
parler, il va donner des astuces
talk
de pro.
about all the ways that Trackmania can get a little more competitive. Omar, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, and you? How are you doing?
Ah, c'est des vrais joueurs
I'm
pro.
excited to
Il y a des
see
compétitions
some of
Trackmania. Ah,
the-
gros, j'ignorais
some
complètement.
skills. I mean, not that
Eh ben.
not that we had no skills earlier. I'm just this is a whole different level, right? Because these are some of the top racers in the community.
Yeah, what we did basically is invite the
Compétition
6 or 7,
Trackmania
I
et
think,
tout, bah, en
best
même temps, ouais,
players
un jeu de
of
course.
the
Hein.
closed alpha we organized. And
Ah, il me donne des conseils alors qu'il sait même pas rouler droit, bah
racing,
bravo.
in rounds mode, so they all start
bravo,
at the
hein.
same time, and the fastest guy win.
All right, who's your money on here at the outset?
I'll just take the easy pick and go with Shorty since he won that round.
There he is. He's there, top of the pops right there.
Yeah.
And keen-eyed viewers will note this is the track we just saw being created, and actually the.
Putain, mais ils ont rechangé les
player,
codes
I
de
think, in
place
that
en
round
plus,
is the
c'est
one
con
who
là.
made it. So, Tona,
Yeah.
you can step it up. I believe in you.
Probably can win at least one round.
I believe it. I believe it. So as we watch them compete, I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about, you know,
C'est sur trial raising maintenant les codes. Les codes c'est trial raising. Je répète, les codes c'est trial raising. Bah Trackmania c'est le jeu avec la scène e-sport la plus développée. Ah ouais. Ah, je pensais que c'était League of Legends et ces conneries là moi. Ok bah écoute tu m'apprends quelque chose. Je pensais que c'était League of Legends, Counter-Strike. Trackmania, ok. Je te dis, je connais que deux noms et je pensais pas que c'était aussi, aussi populaire que ça.
Gaining more medals, maybe reaching the gold medals on all the maps of the official campaign, which is a great achievement already. You'll be able to play against VIPs, ghosts, which means that you'll be able to compete against yourself or against your favorite streamer, against your friends.
Lui aussi c'est un français, Omar.
Nice. So I like the streamer touch because then if you're watching
J'ai l'impression.
chat, say like you can kind of see when they've laid down the time and then go take yourself to the track and see how you stack up.
That's good. Like that's a feature we love.
Il est sous-coté à la mort, même les mecs comme Stardust, Gotaga. Ils ont commencé les compètes Trackmania. D'accord.
Excellent. Shout out to Tona who did take that second win on
Tu
the
m'en
track
apprends de bonne.
of his own creation. Nicely done. So we're on to a new track here, and see that's the kind
Après,
of
c'est vrai que ça a l'air bien sympa quand même.
I'm
Hein,
flying out over the over Oblivion.
de là à faire des grandes compètes et tout, je pensais pas, tu vois. Après, ça va être chaud. Ça a l'air quand même assez compliqué en vrai, donc ouais, je peux comprendre.
But in terms of what they're seeing, what competitive players are seeing in Trackmania, what's kind of some stuff that's going to be a little bit.
Lui.
Oh my goodness. No way.
That's scary. It's okay, that's only the warm-up.
It's
so
only the warm-up.
Yeah.
No wonder they're sending it. No wonder.
Yeah.
Il a gagné là.
In terms of like,
ça a compté sa place. Ah non, j'ai
so
fait.
you've done your sort of like, you've done your solo competition. You want to like maybe compete with players on a broader scale.
Omar, si tu écoutes bien, il a un peu l'accent arabo-marocain. Gros, je suis très mauvais en accent. Je peux juste te dire qu'il parle pas avec le vrai accent anglais. C'est ce que je sais te dire.
Daily Cups, which is something completely new for Trackmania, where you'll be able to compete against every player in the world which wants to participate every day at.
On dirait vraiment un Français qui parle anglais en tout cas, mais bon. Après, c'est pas le plus important, on s'en fout. En tout cas, c'est un champion e-sport donc du jeu, un joueur pro du jeu. Je ne connais pas du tout cette personne, du coup, mais. Ah non, c'est un producteur Ubisoft. Ok. Bah, ils ont dit conseil de pro, moi je pensais que c'était être un joueur pro. Non, au final, c'est que des joueurs de pro. C'est des producteurs, c'est pas un joueur pro. Ok, j'ai pas suivi alors. Okay. Très bien. J'ai raconté de la caca. Je sais pas, ils vont donner des conseils de pro, je pensais que ça allait être un pro qui allait donner les conseils. Et Venez. Vous voulez pas noter les codes, hein, c'est Trial Raising maintenant qui est gratuit là. Notez, notez.
Basically what we have on the Grand League is the 16 best players in the world. You cannot have anyone better than them. And we just put them on a special format that we designed where everything is possible until the end and the last second of the last track. So it's really great to see and we're excited for the next season which will start on September.
Nice. So in September, more Grand League action coming your way. But, you know, there's a lot of competitive space in between the tip top for you to get involved. And is that something that, you know, in terms of
like... En fait, ils cherchent des moyens d'arriver plus rapidement à l'arrivée et tout, c'est stylé. C'est stylé, c'est stylé. Bon, bougez pas, il va y avoir le pré-événement qui va commencer là dans 5 minutes. Et après, à 21h, on aura le vrai événement. Mais le pré-événement est déjà intéressant. On va déjà avoir des nouveautés. On va déjà avoir des gameplays. On va déjà avoir des mises à jour de jeux, etc. Donc, ça va déjà être intéressant.
So we made everything easier for everyone on Trackmania.
Nice. So that, I mean, that can even be just you creating the events to just play with your friends or your classmates or whatever else. Yeah. Nice. And so these clubs, this is kind of a way, like clubs are also a way that people can get into, you know, finding people who, you know, like to race at the same time again, or you know, are friends or are connected through different ways. And the clubs can be kind of.
En vrai, les maps et tout a l'air vraiment très cool hein, sur ce jeu.
You can have a club which is completely private and where you play only with your friends or your roommates, classmates. or you can just have a public club which is available and joinable by everyone, and just have fun with a lot
Ça
of people
passe
doing a lot of
par-dessus
events
la troisième
and
corde.
organizing a lot of content.
And maybe just a club that focuses on huge jumps, like the one we just saw there.
Like we see, only jumps maps and
Ma bibliothèque Steam, elle vaut 1000 €. Mieux vaut ne pas me la
This
faire
is a pretty
hack.
close match.
Actually, we
Je
have
te le souhaite, gros.
Only has a few points ahead, so I like it. Thanks for recruiting these folks into the action here.
Je te le
To
souhaite.
give us a look at some real speedy, real tight turns.
Yeah, you can see how good they are by their drifts and how well they know the maps, obviously, since they've been playing the alpha for, I think, a bit more than two or 3 months now. So they're getting used to the game, and they're playing really good compared to what we do.
I wish I had watched them play before our session earlier, but that's all right. For the future,
you can play against
Ce solo, il est stylé de ouf en vrai.
to learn the map, actually.
That's true. Although, can you really learn from a ghost if it just screams out ahead of you so fast you can't even see it?
Just try to follow it.
I'll work my way up.
Il faut tryhard de ouf le jeu en fait.
Yeah,
hein.
so
En fait, dès que tu sais que tu vas avoir un truc sur une map, faut tryhard la map comme un porc, chercher les raccourcis et ça. Il y a que ça.
It's organized through clubs, which is
Y a que
kind
ça.
of organic, and players all around the world can make that happen. But you at Nadeo are also sort of curating stuff and experiences and events for players to get into.
Yeah, what we try to do is to have a mix of community event, where basically we have players organizing event. That's something that is there for more than 14 years now on Trackmania, so we love to see that. We love to see community creating content on our game. We also organize ourselves, our events through the Grand League, the Daily Cups, the Nations League, and things like that. So it's kind of a mix of trying to get content for every kind of players, and also a way to be able to create content and events, whether you're a great player or just want to have fun with your friends.
Nice. Wow. The time separating the top finishes.
That's really
here
great, and that's really fast.
is very, very tight here as we move on to, I believe, our fourth and final map of this competitive section.
And it's
Tu sais, c'est des viewers qui font la compète en ce moment.
All right, folks, it's down to the
Ils ont
wire.
été qualifiés. Ah ouais?
Still believing in your racer Shorty out there?
Yeah,
Eh ben.
I think he's first. So
I mean, yeah,
still
came in
confident.
first that race.
Yeah, and that's a great map. Everything can happen there. So might be someone overtaking Shorty.
Do you like that kind of map where, I mean, it's exciting, right? Because like dramatic stuff can happen, but also.
Ok, bah notez bien les codes là parce qu'on va passer à la suite, je pense. Il va y avoir une dernière.
It's all gone.
Il y a la dernière manche, je crois. Si j'ai bien compris, c'est la dernière manche. Dernier tour, first last. Premier tour.
That's pretty exciting for the spectators. It's not that fun for the players, obviously, because you don't want to lose everything on one turn, but yeah, that's how you handle pressure.
Non, mais je crois que c'est le dernier tour, hein. Je suis pas sûr. Ah non, c'est le dernier. La dernière course, mais là c'est le premier tour. Pas trop compris, mais en tout cas, préparez-vous parce que là, il va bientôt être 30 et à 30, le pré-événement commence.
Actually, we do have a name, but I don't like to use it. I just let people call it as they want. I'm calling it
Mais en plus, une course, ça va vite, tu vois. T'es pas obligé de jouer longtemps au jeu. Tu peux vraiment lancer. Quand t'as 5 minutes à tuer, c'est cool. C'est cool, c'est cool.
And there's many ways to say it, like select the road we are seeing right now.
The language of racing. It takes many forms.
Yeah.
All right, so we're watching the competition play out here. Once people, Trackmania is out now, free to download and play. What would you recommend in terms of like, okay, I just want to get into the competition against other folks. I want to challenge myself right out of the gate. What's the best way to get that started?
Il gère quand même le gars.
The best thing will be to play the Daily Cup because you'll be facing players from all around the world
Il gère.
on a track that is known only each day. So the track of the day map. So you'll be able to see how good you are against other people, and you can do that every day. So you can maybe see your progression on the whole week, and maybe at the end of the week you'll be able to beat people that you wouldn't even think about on the early state of the week.
Ah, les Français sont toujours mal classés par contre. Hein. Les Français sont mauvais.
Competition is that progression and the sense of moving up in the rankings, but also of like this person is always the one who I see a few places ahead of me. Like you're chasing them
Je cherche pas spécialement de monteur, non, Azat. Pas pour l'instant.
This is our last race, is that right?
Yeah, last round, and Shorty is second, so...
À part si tu veux faire des best-of de live,
The pressure is on, they're coming around
tu peux toujours t'amuser, mais à part ça... non.
Not quite slalom, but
Bon, pas de ce live-là, par exemple, à part ce best-of.
Yep, coming up around this
Ça va pas être très fun, on va dire. Donc,
He's still first. I believe in him.
mais si tu veux prendre des lives et t'amuser à faire des best-of, fais-toi plaisir.
positive vibes coming from you.
You can see the slow motion vlog there. Just quite fun also to watch.
Mais bon courage.
And
Hein.
finishing first.
Parce que les
There
lives
he
sont longs.
goes.
I got
Looks
it.
like looks like Omar backed the right racer. Shorty coming in with a victory, and Omar, thank you so much for talking about competitive Trackmania. Anything else you want to mention before we wrap
Il y
it
a les
up?
Belges pour rattraper le
Well,
coup, ouais, mais
obviously,
bon.
thank you for having me, and thanks to the players for playing this competition. Thanks to all the closed alpha players we had, because they help us truly to make this game better. And we're
Ouais, bon, allez, vous êtes en retard là, hop, hop, hop.
the Trackmania we have
Hop,
right
hop,
now,
hop.
so,
C'était bien gentil Trackmania, mais on dégage là.
It's free, and have fun on it. I'm pretty sure you'll have, and yeah, that's it.
All right, Omar.
Allez,
Thank you so
ciao, ciao.
much. Trackmania, folks, it's out now on Epic Games
Allez,
Store
t'es en
and
retard, salut.
Uplay. Go ahead and download it. Get in there and
Ça va très bien et toi,
get racing.
Julien?
Now,
La
our
forme
time
ou
of
quoi?
Trackmania is coming to a
Allez, allez,
close,
allez,
and it's
allez, allez,
on
allez,
to
allez, allez,
the
on ferme sa
next
bouche.
show.
T'es en retard.
Ubisoft Forward pre-show is starting
Voilà.
momentarily.
Oui, bah le pré-show,
We're gonna
voilà.
take a look at
Il est en
Ghost
retard.
Recon
Il est en retard,
Break,
donc
the
tu
Crew
dégages.
2,
Allez,
Trials Rising,
ciao.
new stuff coming from all these games. You're not going to want to miss it. And then when the countdown timer hits 0, it's
Mon pointeur de
Ubisoft
souris, il
Forward,
est RGB.
the big showcase of
Pourquoi
the
pas?
latest and greatest upcoming games from Ubisoft, followed by an in-depth look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We got a lot more in store for you, so
Impeccable,
let's go
si tu vas
ahead and
bien.
throw it over to Kat.
Allez, allez, balance là, on s'en fout, c'est bon, Trackmania, on a vu. Oh, merci.
Thank you, Chris, and hello everyone, and
Bon, normalement,
welcome
vous avez
to
les sous-titres, hein, vous voyez ce qu'ils disent.
Show. The main event will be starting in just 30 minutes and will feature news from our unreleased games, including Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Hyperscape, and more.
Now to warm up, we have 30 minutes of a days from the games you're already playing, like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Trials Rising, and The Crew 2, as well as some exclusive behind the scenes so you can get to know us a little better. So let's kickstart this pre-show with an update from Just Dance 2020.
Attendez, le chat il a bugué comme par hasard. Je reviens. Là, je coupe juste le son de la vidéo, ça vous dérange pas parce que... Je change la douille sur cette vidéo là. Ah non, c'est bon, le chat je l'ai normalement. Normalement c'est bon. J'ai pas coupé le son au final, mais je la sens mal. Hein. Ils ont rajouté trop bien des musiques sur Just Dance. Je suis comme un fou. En vrai, pour vous faire une confession, Just Dance, j'y jouais sur Wii. Avec ma femme et sa cousine, vraiment.
If you're a Just Dance fan and want to win some cool swag, head over to the Just Dance website.
Ah oui, il faut
for all
danser un
the
peu dans la
details.
ville.
For our next segment, we have something a little different than what we usually do. A few years ago, Ubisoft created the Ubisoft Entrepreneurs Lab and the Open Innovation Accelerator. This allowed us to create
Ah, c'est un Français qui se force à parler anglais, ça me fait mal au cul.
studios from across the industry.
And since so many industry events were canceled this year, we wanted to showcase several indie projects and teams that Ubisoft has been collaborating
Ça
with
sera à
over the
21h
past
ça,
few
Azat.
years.
Là pour l'instant jusqu'à 21h c'est des mises à jour de jeux qu'on connaît
We're
déjà.
working on the Curious Expedition 2. Let's hear more from the team behind.
Normalement.
Hi, my name is Masha and I'm a game designer at Machine Bench. Machine Bench is a small and diverse
Putain, ils ont fait
indie
nimp
game
avec leurs
studio
sous-titres là.
with wonderful employees based here in Berlin.
Ah, c'est bon,
Our
c'est
connection
mieux.
with Ubisoft came through a program dedicated. Our connection with Ubisoft came through a program
Bah, ils bug leur truc, hein.
dedicated to create ever-growing relationships with independent developers, to talk about and share expertise.
Ça va même pas monter une vidéo quoi.
We work together in mutual respect. which
Je
we
rigole,
much
je plaisante,
appreciate.
je taquine.
We're working on the Curious Expedition 2, which is the sequel to our expedition simulation game. This time, the game is set in Paris in 1899 during the World Expo when the Eiffel Tower was built. But more importantly, you will be traveling to these mysterious islands, you will be interacting with unknown tribes, fight dangerous beasts, find many secrets. Thanks to our procedure technology, every time you play, it's a new world, new characters, and a new storyline that you
Personnellement,
take each of your
ça ne
interactions
m'attire pas du
until
tout.
it becomes really your own unique adventure.
On se le dise bien. On se le dise bien, ça ne me dit rien du tout ce jeu. Voilà, je le dis. Elle est disponible en early access pour ceux qui veulent. Ça me parle pas.
A while
Voilà.
ago, Ubisoft released its very first live-action TV show on Apple TV+.
Ouais, certaines séries
And
télé.
about making video games called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. And to keep the show authentic, Ubisoft's Red Storm Studio went above and beyond by creating a playable
Ah, ils ont vraiment créé un jeu pour la série. Ah, c'est cool.
featured in the show.
C'est cool.
Now let's head behind the scenes for an exclusive look.
Pour avoir Watch Dogs 2, tu vas sur le site de Ubisoft et tu le regardes en direct sur Ubisoft. Gabinou. Et elles bug leur vidéo. Hein.
Is
Ça.
Ubisoft's first live-action comedy. The whole show is about a team that is developing a super successful MMORPG, and it's about all the people within the game development team and their relationships and what they go through in creating one of the world's most successful games.
All right, incredible.
Thank you.
But are we sure that we're finished?
When we heard about what was going
Tu vas
on,
sur
we
ce
weren't really
sur ce
sure if we
site-là,
were a great fit because
ubisoft.com, tu
we've
vas
always made shooters and
et
realistic.
tu vas sur Ubisoft
And
Forward
we
tout
listened to the
simplement.
pitch and we were super excited about the
Et
idea.
à la fin, si tu l'as regardé assez longtemps,
We thought, all right, what's
ouais, il
what
faut que tu te
Ubisoft
connectes. Hein. Faut que tu
have
te
that
connectes
we
sur le
could
site avec
channel
ton
to fit
identifiant.
this?
Après, c'est bon.
You're fucking
Normalement.
Yes. You're fucking me.
But I'm not enjoying it. It's for the game.
When we started on the project, I think we imagined we would just make video clips that would run on screens in the background or something, so it would feel like a real game studio. But once we saw the script, once we started collaborating with the team, we realized, oh, they want a game, like an actual game. Of course, making an actual game would take years, so we started selecting the pieces that they really needed for certain scenes. And from there, it was not long before we said, what if we make this actually playable?
En vrai, c'est une putain de bonne idée qu'ils ont eu de le faire vraiment le jeu.
Control the characters, and so that's what we ended up doing.
The thing that I love most is the shuffle. Exploding people's heads with this thing is straight fire. Crunch, man.
We had requests to do things like make it contagious.
Ouais, Gabinou, mais faut que tu te connectes avec ton compte Ubisoft, machin mes couilles. Sur le site et c'est bon. Après, oui, ça va dans ta bibliothèque. Mais il faut que tu regardes assez longtemps par contre.
We set it up in such a way that you could trigger it in stages because we didn't know what the timing was going to be. The idea here is we can hit it and control the timing of when things are happening. So the next time you hit it, he starts puking out blood. And at this point, we would probably have the camera start panning back like this. And then you can hit the button again and you can see the blood ocean itself has started coming in.
Ça a l'air what the fuck comme jeu, mais c'est cool.
Back end as well. And then the final is just everybody exploding in bloody gore.
Ça bug.
And this was Keith's idea.
Bah, leur vidéo bug, ouais. Mon live apparemment pas, hein. Je le regarde en même temps. Il y a pas d'avoir de soucis.
Releasing a disease into the game right before a global pandemic was not a great look.
Today was the first time we showed Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet to an audience. Time we showed Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet to an
Mais ouais, leur vidéo elle bug un peu, hein. Chez moi ça bug
I
aussi.
wanted to make sure that we gave them an opportunity to hopefully recognize that this is a giant love letter to them, to the industry itself.
I was a little nervous, I gotta be honest. I thought it was gonna be a little cringy, but it was fantastic.
I thought there was a lot of truth and in the humor.
It's about time that we had a show about our industry.
You could tell when the audience was laughing, when they really hit something that felt like the game industry.
Bah de rien, Gabinou.
It's brilliant.
Bah, j'ai absolument pas envie de voir la série, mais le jeu a l'air sympa.
Raven's Banquet is available right now on Apple TV+, and a full version of this making of will be coming out over the next few days. All right, now it is time to fasten your seatbelts and start your engines as we head out to Lyon, France to visit our team at Ubisoft Ivory Tower to get an update on The Crew 2.
Ah, les infos sur The Crew 2.
Hi everyone, and welcome to The Crew 2 at Ubisoft Forward. My name is James Rees, I'm a community developer here at Ivory Tower, and I'll be your host for this quick glimpse into all the exciting things we have going on over the next few weeks. It's been 2 years already since launch, with 6 major updates and hundreds of vehicles under our belt. And our latest update, Summer in Hollywood, only went live. And our latest update,
Oh, ça bug, ça bug, ça bug.
only went live a few
What the
days
fuck?
ago. Let's have a look.
What the fuck, les enfants? Eh ben non, Tanguy.
We can't wait being a few speed bumps along the way, but over the past 2 years, you, the community, have made the Crew 2 a motorsports playground where all
Parce
players
que je donne pas mon numéro.
and where anything is
Tout simplement.
So thank you to the Crew social, exchange, Discord, Reddit, and all of our players. We've got a little something for you in-game to show our appreciation. It's the 67 Volkswagen.
Oh, stylé.
So let's see what kind of Hollywood twist you can put on it.
Stylé, stylé.
That's it from me. There'll be more news dropping over summer, so keep your eyes peeled. Starting with this.
Bon voilà, je suis pas fan du jeu, mais 2-3 bonnes idées quand même. Oh, la DeLorean. K2000. Ça non? Ouais, je crois. Ils ont des petits bugs dans leurs vidéos là, c'est pas fou hein. Ah, ça fait déjà 3 ans The Crew, j'aurais dit 2, tu vois. Eh ben, déjà la 3e année.
In case you missed it, make sure to boot up the game right now to unlock the amazing 69 Volkswagen Beetle that was just shown in the video, and stay tuned in the near future for more info about year 3 of the Crew 2. Our next video is from our second indie guest, Bossa Studios, who will be injecting a delirious dose of fun.
Un autre... Ah, Sergent Simulator 2, ah ouais, d'accord. Ah oui, ça je veux. On a tellement rigolé sur le 1.
Hi, I'm Nate from Bossa Studios, and I'm a senior game designer on the upcoming Surgeon Simulator 2. So at Bossa, we're always keen to share game development knowledge, and Ubisoft has been...
Ah bah Gabinou, je pense que c'est parce qu'il y a trop de monde. Hein.
They deliver lectures on procedural content development and player science.
What the fuck?
In turn, we shared with them the ideation processes that we use to develop initial ideas into living, breathing games. Which brings me on to Surgeon Simulator 2. We've really doubled down on the physics-based pandemonium that the series is notorious for. And we've pretty much expanded on every other aspect of the game as well. So this time around, you're no longer just a floating hand confined to the operating table. You're actually a full first-person surgeon with an entire medical facility to explore. And in addition to the levels that you'll find in story mode, you'll now be able to create your own unique levels and experiences using Bossa Labs creation mode. So it's a really easy to use, intuitive set of tools that allows players to create either on their own or in online multiplayer.
En vrai,
with 3 friends.
je trouve qu'ils ont abusé en vrai.
Everything players create can then be uploaded and shared with the community. And here, surgery really is just the tip of the iceberg.
Des vidéos où tu fais des canulars.
During our closed alpha period, we've seen players create all sorts of amazing stuff.
Pas bien sûr, Tanguy.
To space stations, pirate ships to horror-themed escape rooms.
J'ai pas vraiment 12 ans en fait, donc.
So we absolutely cannot wait to see what players create when we launch the game this coming August. And in fact, if you pre-order Surgeon Simulator 2...
En vrai, je suis content qu'ils fassent un 2, mais je trouve ça s'éloigne trop de l'idée de base en vrai. De base, c'était des vraies opérations et tout, là ça part vraiment en cacahuète. Hein. C'est vraiment abusé, je trouve.
So for those of you who are just joining us, you are watching the pre-show, and Ubisoft Forward will start once the countdown on your screen reaches 0. And make sure you log into Uplay to unlock rewards as you watch the main event. But now, our next segment is about an Easter egg in The Division 2, so let's go behind the scenes with the devs from Ubisoft Massive Studio in Malmo, Sweden to find out more.
Running through collapsed buildings, climbing over fallen debris, and encountering makeshift living
Ok, donc un Easter egg dans The Division.
Within its post-pandemic environment, many players have spotted something a bit more unusual, which has left them asking, what's up with all of these rubber ducks?
Ok, ouais, ça j'avais vu des gens qui en parlaient de ça.
Thing in programming especially where you talk to a rubber duck and it's a way to solve your problems. If you talk to a rubber duck and you just say things out loud, it helps.
Ah bon?
One of our artists decided to take this to another level and he used the rubber duck scaled up to like a ginormous scale and put it in the level just to remind him to do something, and it sat there for a while and the rest of us kind of really loved this giant rubber duck sitting there for so long. We decided to put a little memorials to it across the world.
D'accord.
What started off as little memorials And then we started adding stories to
On a
them.
fait un
So
début de live la
there's
dernière fois,
one
et
where at
la
least two
vidéo,
ducks are sitting on
quand
a
j'aurai le
bench
temps,
having a date
quand
together.
les
There's another
studios
one
arrêteront de
somewhere
m'envoyer des
sitting
clés.
with an umbrella hiding from the rain. The
Là, j'en ai
idea of the
encore déjà au
ducks
moins
is
5 de
similar to
côté,
the
donc
rest of our
pas tout de suite.
storytelling, where we're trying to add some hope into the world. Because you're coming in as a division agent to try and save what you can and rebuild, but you need to know there's something there to save. So having bits of happiness lets you know like it's still worth saving for these little happy moments.
One shrine in particular became a beloved fan favorite,
Okay.
showing up multiple times across YouTube and Reddit.
So, Karen, how was your day?
Well, Luke, it's been productive.
Oh, c'est rigolo ça.
So the origin story
Ça,
of
c'est rigolo
productive,
ça.
one of our level designers made an amazing pun one day, and we decided to make a graffiti out of it and put it in the game, and it became like a duck shrine, and players started finding it and wondering where it came from.
We've been finding these rubber duckies all over the map. It says here on the wall in graffiti, productive, and there's a large rubber ducky, bigger than all the other ones.
Bon, au moins, on a l'explication maintenant de où ça vient.
He's got bottles of booze all around him. Not only that, but he has a couple soldier duckies guarding a parrot in a cage.
Alors, combien de temps, je peux pas te dire, ça peut être dans un an, ça peut être dans une semaine, ça peut être jamais. Je sais déjà pas moi-même quand je pourrais faire les vidéos que j'ai envie de faire, parce que voilà, j'ai des obligations, c'est comme ça, hein, c'est comme ça que ça marche.
So that means players are genuinely, hopefully enjoying just exploring the environment and
Mais c'est noté, hein, le jeu il est toujours sorti, il est dans la console en plus, parce que la dernière fois je l'ai lancé. Depuis je sais pas.
They haven't found all of them. I don't know exactly how many there are, but they haven't found all of the ducks yet.
Encouraged by the community's response to the ducks, developers recently hid another secret in the game and made it the focal point of an all-new community challenge.
We actually put Tommy the teddy bear into the game. So Tommy the teddy bear is a trauma teddy mentioned in a lot of lore, but the bear itself actually was not in the game. With episode 3, we put a bunch of them into the world, actually opened up an Easter egg hunt for him specifically.
It's a nice little exciting moment when you kind of open Reddit and you see someone's found the thing that you kind of just snuck in under the radar and no one really knows about it. And some of the players are really clever. There's some hard Easter eggs that some of the level designers and gameplay
J'ai deux chiens, Tanguy.
And people have managed to solve it with no help whatsoever. Gamers are smart.
J'ai un husky et un spitzna.
So now that you know, be on the lookout for both the ducks and teddy bears next time you boot up the Division 2. We now have our final indie guest, Thunder Lotus Games, who were the 2017 winner of the indie series that took place in Montreal. So let's find out more about the beautiful coziness of Spiritfarer in this next video.
Hey everybody, I'm Rodrigue, marketeer at Thunder
Ok,
Lotus.
Rodrigue. Ah, Spiritfarer, déjà le nom me parle, le nom me donne envie.
Jotun, Sundered, and our new game Spiritfarer, which is due out later this year.
Ah!
For the past 6 years, we've tried to make AAA quality games with a hand-drawn indie heart. Hitting a quality standard consistently in game dev is a huge challenge. There's so much.
On m'a proposé une clé de ce jeu et j'ai dû la refuser parce que j'avais pas le temps. Ah, tu vois, on le voit là. Mais c'est vrai qu'il avait l'air très très bien. Il avait l'air très très bien.
Indie series in 2017, we received not only generous funding but also crucial mentorship and access to the Ubisoft testing facilities. So we're grateful to Ubisoft for their support and helping us make what would become our biggest success to date. We've taken that experience with us onto what is our most ambitious production yet, and that's Spiritfarer, which we're calling a cozy management game about dying. In Spiritfarer, you play Stella, the newly appointed ferry master to the deceased. And as Stella, you're going to build a boat, you're going to explore the world in search of spirit passengers, seeking passage to the afterlife.
J'aime bien.
Spend relaxing quality time with them, you're going to create lasting memories, but ultimately, you're going to have to learn how to say goodbye to your cherished friends. It's a game that's near and dear to our hearts, and it's something really special. We can't wait to share it with the world later this year. So look for it soon on PC, on Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Game Pass. Thanks a lot, and cheers.
On le fera peut-être en live si j'ai récupéré une clé de nouveau.
Motorcycle platformer with the insanity, pain, and triumph we all know and we all love. Trials Rising came out last year, but I think the team from our Red Link studio in Helsinki has a little surprise coming to the game for the fans of the franchise. So let's take a look.
Une surprise pour les fans de Trial Rising. Oh, ça sent le ban son là.
We're here today to introduce you to an exciting new endurance challenge coming to Trials Rising.
Ouais, juste pour la musique, hein. Ce serait con que le live n'ait plus de son. La suite du live. Donc pour l'instant, on va juste laisser comme ça. Oh la vache. De la gigapiste. Ok, gigapiste.
In by far the longest track that we've ever put in a trial.
Did you tell him it's the longest track ever?
Yeah, I'm telling them that. By far the longest track we've ever put in a Trials game. The Giga Track will take you across many different
En vrai, la musique, je la sens pas. Hein. Je sens que je vais me faire niquer.
Yeah, I was just... Maybe you want to tell them.
The Giga Track is like life. It starts and it ends and it's long. Depends how you enjoy it. And also one secret thing. 4 tells transfer to 1.
Prepare for the ultimate test of Trials endurance. Giga Track releases this Thursday, July 16th for the low price of...
Did you tell them it's free?
You heard that right, riders. Giga Track will be available
Gratuite, impeccable. Mise à jour gratuite pour les joueurs, donc. Ça, c'est cool. Très cool.
You heard that right, the Giga Track is coming to the game and it will be the longest, most insane track in Trials history and it will be free for all Trials Rising players. Now for our last game update, the Ghost Recon Breakpoint team is ready to share some details on their upcoming updates. AI teammates are coming to the game. Let's have a look at the trailer.
The time has come. AI teammates are back in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And for all solo players, they're gonna be a game changer. Available at any point after you have reached Erewhon for the first time, Fury, Fixit, and Vasily can be activated
Oh, Vasily. Sniper, bah oui. Belle ref. Vasily Zaitsev. Célèbre sniper russe de la Seconde Guerre mondiale.
As well as gear, equipment, or even full costumes. Your teammates can be tweaked just as much as your main character. Just like Nomad, your teammates will adapt and react to the world of Aroa and its environments, and they will always follow your own behavior. If you decide to go stealth, they will equip silencers and crouch, or go prone when possible. But if you decide to go loud and open fire, they will stick by your side. When deployed, you can issue different orders to your teammates through the order wheel. There are 4 different orders you can give to your teammates. You can tell them to regroup on your location, to hold their current position, to go to a specific location, and to open fire on nearby enemies. These orders can be given at any time, even through your binoculars and drone. Once they approach potential threats,
stylé en vrai. En vrai, c'est stylé. Faut voir s'ils sont aussi débiles que dans le Ghost Recon l'ancien, mais sinon, c'est stylé.
Where each of your teammates picks a target. You can even link it to your 3 sync shot drones for a simultaneous 7-target takedown. The teammates have weapons equipped at all times, a versatile assault rifle to accommodate all situations, and a primary weapon that you will be able to fine-tune. Indeed, apart from mark upgrades and passive bonuses, the full gunsmith is accessible to your teammates, and their weapon of choice will have a direct effect on the battleground. Depending on the type of weapon they have equipped, the teammates will adapt their engagement distance and rate of fire, from close-distance shotgun wielding all the way to long-distance sniper shots. Of course, if you get taken down, your teammates' priority will be to try and rescue you. To achieve that, they will first focus their fire on the surrounding enemies before getting to you. And they will expect the same from you, especially as you will be able to carry them to safety if the situation requires it. Finally, the teammates will also be your best allies in any vehicle, especially on the road and during high-stake pursuits.
Ça a l'air d'être bien fait.
The teammates will be available for all solo Ghost Recon Breakpoint players on July 15th, and we cannot wait to see your reactions. We'll see you on the battlefield, ghosts.
Ça a l'air bien fait, ça a l'air bien fait. À voir. À voir le rendu final, mais ça a l'air bien fait.
Hey Ghosts, I'm Grace from the Ghost Recon team. As you've just seen, the AI teammates are finally landing in Ghost Recon Breakpoint with our next major update on July 15th. Alongside the AI teammates, this update comes with a ton of new content, including
Ok, les autres nouveautés en plus, ok.
new PvP content, quality of life updates,
Du contenu
and more.
PVP.
You will be able to try it all during our next free weekend from July 16th to July 20th. But that's not all. We've got one last thing to show you. Enjoy, and we'll see you on Aroa, Ghosts.
To anyone listening, this is Haruhi Ito speaking for the Outcasts. We stand against Sentinel's illegal occupation of Aroa. We call on all of Aroa to join us. Separated, Sentinel wins. But united, we cannot be defeated.
La musique, je la sens pas non plus. Ok. Bon bah... C'est pas assez pour m'attirer sur le jeu, mais c'est stylé.
Final video for this pre-show is another episode of our wow moments compiling the craziest and coolest clips from you, our players.
Ah, sur Steep, yes. Oh ouais, ah what the fuck, je sais pas s'il a fait exprès, mais c'est joli. Je sais pas s'il a chaté ou si c'est fait exprès, mais waouh. Alors, attends, mais il a rien fait d'exceptionnel en fait. Ah ça, là oui, là il a fait quelque chose d'exceptionnel, ok. Très joli. Oh bravo là. Ça aussi c'était une bonne barre de rire ça.
I was gonna interrogate him. Oh, you can interrogate this guy though. Oh, okay.
Oh what the fuck. Qu'est-ce qu'il foutait là? Voilà, ça dépend du jeu Azat, mais pourquoi pas. Oh waouh. Si le jeu est potentiellement intéressant, enfin, ça peut être un genre qui m'intéresse potentiellement, pourquoi pas.
So there's a line that people want me to yell, but I can't usually do it because I'll freak out my neighbours. But as you can see, I'm at the Crashing Ocean Beach, and there's no one too close. So, reloading! Fuck! Someone saw me. I gotta go.
Oh bah ça c'est bien joué ça. Oh waouh. Bah écoute, tu m'enverras le prototype ou peu importe et je regarderai si j'ai le temps et le luxe de le faire et que c'est pas mal, pourquoi pas.
Segments you captured from our games, spread the joy and submit them on the link displayed on your screen right now. All right, guys, it is time for us to wrap up this pre-show.
Don't forget to stay tuned for our post-show featuring a deep dive into the world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Thanks a lot for watching this pre-show and enjoy Ubisoft Forward.
Merci bien. Allez, le vrai événement il commence maintenant, c'est parti. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah, good, good.
I'm Neelam Kumar, and I'm very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Magid.
Ah, Thierry Henry.
Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what the hackers of
Ah bah c'est parti tout de suite avec ton jeu là, Azat. Monte un poil, le son. Merde. Tu me fais faire de la merde, voilà. On dirait que c'est suffisant.
Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out because I was not a foreigner. Then they came for the protesters, and I did not speak out because I was not a protester. Then they came for the journalists, and I did not speak out because I was not a journalist. And then they came for street artists, but I did not speak out because I am not a street artist.
L'image elle est pas ouf hein, et pourtant on est en 1080p 60 hein, mais l'image elle est pas ouf hein. C'est pas mon live hein, c'est chez eux. Hein.
Eventually, they'd come for me, and there would be no one left to speak for me.
Right! Oh! Nice! Where are we off to, sir?
It's fine! I'll show you the way!
Okay! Sorry, miss. Jesus! All right, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out of here.
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. Right. This way, not to be able to do what you're passionate about.
After a long night, London is in chaos.
C'est bien long, ouais. Je suis en train de me dire la même chose et c'est pas bien intéressant surtout. Ok, c'est pas trop mal fait, mais.
Welcome to the Resistance. Here's a welcome gift for our new members.
On veut du rythme, nous, on s'en fout là.
You could have told me it was a bloody costume party.
Try it on.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old London taxi driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been asked not to approach him. The authorities advise all residents...
I'm Clint Hawking.
Clint has been a long-time creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
Ok, vas-y.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film.
Incroyable, on s'en fout.
The director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells
déjà
the
ça,
story
ça va être un peu
of
plus
ordinary
gameplay, c'est bien.
heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you, you help them with their problem, you play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you because they're, heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
En gros, on peut vraiment embaucher n'importe qui quoi, dans la résistance.
Our London town. A modern
on peut embaucher tout le monde, on peut recruter les vieux, tout le monde, en les aidant, et ils vont rejoindre votre groupe pour rendre service. Ok. Au final, ils sous-titrent même pas. Ils ont la flemme de sous-titrer, ok, ça marche.
Oh my god.
Ouais, du gameplay là.
Get all your units to move in and lock
down the city. C'est bien beau.
With London under attack by a mysterious terrorist, the government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion.
Nigel.
He's kindly stepped up to establish order.
Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even myself, to jeopardize this.
He will stop at nothing to permanently control the city.
London will be the first city in the world to be made truly safe.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this fair city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
Ça n'a pas l'air incroyable.
But I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I?
You made me a slave.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers. With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
Enfin, les graphismes, c'est pas le plus important dans un jeu, mais là...
Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave
c'est un peu tout ce qu'on voit, donc c'est tout ce que je peux juger, en gros, mais...
can be recruited into your team. Like him.
Voilà, on prend vraiment n'importe qui dans notre équipe, ça j'ai bien compris.
Or even her. Everyone could become
ça va être trop marrant de jouer la vieille, quand même. Jouer la vieille, ça doit être fun.
In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass.
J'ai envie de jouer la vieille, c'est ce que j'ai envie de faire dans ce jeu.
Into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Dear God, my eyes. Badly. Zip up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
Like everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy. He can even call his own cargo drone.
Ça en vrai c'est stylé aussi.
Perfect for gate crashing.
Franchement le jeu pour l'instant moi il me hype pas. Hein. Je sais pas ce que vous en pensez.
Gun when you have a bloody nail gun.
Come in, you soidoid shitboy. Jesus Christ, what is that thing?
Perhaps we could approach this mission differently. If you'd rather keep your distance,
je ne mets pas mon argent là-dedans, personnellement. Pour l'instant, de ce que je vois.
What have we here?
A real tech connoisseur.
Hate spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Il y a l'air d'avoir des features intéressantes comme ça, mais...
Let's class the place up.
pas.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aimed, she fired, she hit.
I'm reading incoming drones.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor. And if you are not into direct confrontation, there are more ways than one to get the job done. Recruiting an Albion officer like Brielle here might be challenging, but it'll get you inside restricted Albion areas.
De leur armée pour les infiltrer.
Don't mind me, just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
However, do anything suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
You've been approved for entry.
We're missing the human element here. I can get the Defense Minister on the line right now.
Well, if you feel you must.
Mais les animations faciales et tout, elles sont dégueulasses. Même le sang qui gicle, c'est PS2 ça. C'est quoi ça?
Criminals running our streets.
Ça va sortir sur les nouvelles consoles et sur les
the
PC.
police commissioner himself.
Ouais.
Assassinated by terrorists.
Ouais, c'est pas moche.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
That put another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
Yo IB28, comment va? Vraiment le jeu me hype zéro.
He does have a slight drinking problem though. And he's passed out. We'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional. It's almost crass to call him a hitman.
J'attends vos ressentis, hein, bien sûr. Après, on pourra débattre en live si vous voulez, à la fin du live sur Discord. Si vous voulez rejoindre le Discord, mais
Some might even call him an artist.
Là, je suis pas hypé du tout, hein, du tout.
Here's the bastard responsible. Done and dusted.
Not bad if I do say so, innit?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero. So get out there, find the best recruits, and build your resistance. It's time to take back London.
Ok, et ben 29 octobre 2020. Ok, mais c'est pas pour moi.
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city, teeming with unique locales and characters, has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Munt to tell us more.
My name's Amanda Munt. I'm a level artist on Watch Dogs Legion at Ubisoft Toronto. Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because we do get the freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little details we want to depict. And we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're assigned to.
Comme ça, c'est incroyablement beau, mais
I have the capacity to hide things and, you know, like small little Easter eggs. In AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats.
Assassin's Creed, je les trouve plus beaux.
And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2. And there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So. I was fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London. So no matter where I dropped them in the city, they'd go, oh my God, this feels like Camden. This feels like Southwark. This feels like Westminster. When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, builds these worlds with care.
Bien fait, c'est sûr que t'es fier.
I love it.
Tout à fait normal. Très bien, bah écoute. Bravo là, ok. On passe du coq à l'âne, hein.
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
T'es pas hypé un peu? Ah, pas du tout. Pas du tout. Pas du tout hypé.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
De ce que j'ai vu là, j'en attendais rien et je suis quand même déçu. Pas pour moi. Ça c'est cool pour les joueurs mobiles. Ah c'est crossplay en plus, ça c'est cool. Ça c'est très cool. Ok, bon, 6 août, ça arrive sur téléphone. Très bien. Super. Si tu t'enregistres maintenant, tu peux avoir un skin gratuit.
Whether you need a Tom Clancy action fix on the go, or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming, we've got you covered.
Ah. Qu'est-ce qu'ils vont balancer là, j'espère, je sens le lourd là. Pas pour moi non plus ça. Ah quoique. Pourquoi pas. À voir. Ils ont dit franchise la plus populaire du monde là, j'attendais du Splinter Cell, j'étais chaud bouillant. D'où ma déception. Télécharge maintenant et reçoit des récompenses exclusives. Voilà, ceux qui veulent. Ah, Rainbow Six. C'est quoi cette cinématique cartoon pour Rainbow Six là? Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette merde? En vrai c'est stylé mais
Contact! Monk chain is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound, danger close.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP imminent.
Get back in your cell!
Oh, Sam Fisher. C'est Sam Fisher, ça, non? Elite Squad. Ah, mais c'est même pas Rainbow Six, c'est Elite Squad, d'accord. Ah oui, c'est le jeu. Ah oui, c'est le jeu sur mobile que j'avais vu avec un petit peu tous les héros, machin, chouette, là. Ouais, d'accord. Je me disais aussi. Ouais. Ok. Ouais, c'est un jeu de téléphone. Très bien, mais oui, mais non.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
Ah ben, remercier les gens pour ce que le jeu est maintenant, c'est pas une bonne idée, hein. Faut mieux les remercier pour ce qu'il aurait dû être.
In December 2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege. A game built on a strong vision,
creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager et dire aux joueurs, ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted
les gars,
by
vous
our
serez là, on
passionate
vous attend,
community, propelling it to a whole new level.
I got it! This is such a special moment, and being at 1 year anniversary of Rainbow Six now, game being stronger than ever, more players today than we had in the past, it means the world to us.
But we also had our share of challenges.
Health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player.
Through it all, we're always driven by you, our community, and together, we grow stronger.
Bah les gars, je vous aime beaucoup, j'aime beaucoup votre jeu, mais...
There is no sequel plan, and we're here for the next 10 years, so expect more Rainbow Six in your life.
Ah ouais, clairement, il est trop bien, il est incroyable, mais... Il est tellement bugué.
Tous les succès, c'est vraiment le résultat de autant de nous que de vous. Ce jeu, il est autant le vôtre qu'il est le nôtre, nous, l'équipe de développement.
Now 60 million players strong, we're just getting started. From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it, thank you.
Allez, quand même, ça mérite des petites applauses, la Rainbow Six. Mais bon, essayez de le corriger, quoi.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now, and take Ace and Lucy out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer shooter. Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
Il nous présente Hyperbug, allez, on y va. Yo, Neofrex, comment va?
Wait, what was that? A hack in the hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there. Let me get you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true. We made some
impeccable, impeccable, question contre de beau.
We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions. So, here we are. 10 billion souls living in the crush of the megacities.
Ok, ouais, bon. C'est vers là qu'on se dirige de toute façon, hein.
But the people at Prisma changed everything. They gave everyone a way out.
C'est un petit peu comme le film, là.
The hyperscape. In the hyperscape,
c'est totalement inspiré de...
is Crown Rush. This is where anyone
stylé le jeu, Hyperbug, ouais, il est bien, mais... Il est bien, mais il est bugué pour l'instant. En tout cas, l'alpha test là, que j'ai fait, c'est archi bugué. C'est ça que je l'appelle Hyperbug, et aussi c'est tellement pas équilibré. Les armes sont... T'as le lance-roquette ou la batteuse, t'as gagné.
If you get good at Crown Rush, it can change your life. But strange things have been happening lately. Rumors of people getting hurt. Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of the hyperscape. And we have to find it. Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out. And for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the edge of the future. To the hyperscape.
I'm JC, creative director on Hyperscape.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch. Seeing it grow, adding ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the Hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcadia.
Ah ouais, c'est un français, clairement. Puis son accent.
Then we also introduce a lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, to go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield.
Il est pas mauvais du tout.
So a lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with.
Faut qu'il corrige tous les bugs.
Finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening. So for me, it's really exciting because right now, as we speak, we're launching the open beta, and so it's going to be available for free-to-play for all PC players worldwide. We really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can expect.
En vrai, il parle mieux que moi. Bah, il parle beaucoup mieux que moi aussi, je te rassure.
Watch and learn how it's done. Perfecto.
Showtime.
That's mine. Let's show them what I'm made of. Go time. Watch closely. Here we go.
En vrai, on va même faire des moves de ouf quand même. Hein. Mais bon, on va voir. Je sais pas trop. Ah bah voilà, si vous voulez, l'open beta est disponible maintenant. 12 juillet. Ouais, c'est aujourd'hui. À partir d'aujourd'hui.
The digital world of the Hyperscape gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Ana Maria Musca is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
My name is Ana Maria Musca. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base, but even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos that we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's gonna happen in the game. We're very excited to see it in people's hands.
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Ah, et on parlait de la PS5 et de la Xbox Series. Ah, Phil
Spencer from Xbox. With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery. So you will get the absolute best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Bon, ça, je suis comme toi,
I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
All right. We know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April.
Je m'attendais à plus là de la part des nouvelles consoles,
mais
bon, on aurait eu Phil Spencer qui raconte son smart delivery merde là.
My name is
Il raconte ça tous les 2 jours.
Producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did, to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time. And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just coming by boat in England and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game.
On peut choisir entre un homme et une femme, on le savait déjà.
They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors. Shields! And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face-to-face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings. We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Gameplay in game. Allez, c'est parti, on veut ça.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal, to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a Viking. Today we raid
that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle.
Oh, ça c'est stylé de pouvoir enflammer les maisons et tout. Ok.
Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers. At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map. It will serve as a record of the allies you have made.
Putain, je vais m'endormir, c'est pas fou là.
The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game. Every archetype offers a unique challenge. Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of fallen warriors. To face these attacks, you must find and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with a Viking harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes. Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks.
On peut combiner les armes, ok.
Customize your fighting style as you see fit, and become a legendary Viking warrior. All combinations of weapons are available to dual wield, including two shields.
Ça c'est incroyable.
Not all situations call for violence. In this new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt. As Eivor is not welcome in England, you may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds, and slip past watchful eyes, an unseen hunter among the people. From capital cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure.
La pêche, la chasse. Il y aura à nouveau les animaux, les animaux légendaires là, un petit peu comme dans le dernier. Okay.
Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement.
Des coffres à loot,
the more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
On pourra explorer avec notre corbeau, ok.
Ravens, show no mercy!
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle.
Ça c'est intéressant, les gros raids.
Saxon fortresses.
Today we will reclaim her. Today we fight for your land. And tomorrow we rebuild.
Les visages ils ont pas l'air non plus, je sais pas si c'est branlé, mais...
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise, with unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Eh ben ça... Oh là là. C'est long, hein. C'est long. 17 novembre, ok. Super.
9th century England is truly unlike anything the franchise has seen before.
Ça m'a pas donné plus
Assassin's
envie
Creed
que ça.
Valhalla will release this holiday season
J'étais
on
tellement
Xbox
hypé par
Series
ce
X,
jeu, là,
PlayStation
bof.
5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come.
Montre.
So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games.
Encore un.
But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
Vas-y, partage. Ah, Far Cry. Non? Suis Far Cry. Giancarlo Esposito. C'est Far Cry, c'est officiel 100%. C'est pareil, c'est long, hein. Ça donne envie. Ça donne envie.
Fuerzas ultrapenetrantes, estamos cansados de los farsantes, de los...
Le petit ressemble quand même beaucoup à Vass. Hein. Je sais pas si c'est lui ou pas, mais...
It's beautiful, Migo. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Papa.
Ah, d'accord. Au calme.
The grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Breathe, Diego. Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me. Now.
Ah bah sympa le daron. Sympa le papa.
I am El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves,
va devoir balancer une vanne dans la foule.
They will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe will be wrong. They will answer you with screams, call you evil, a monster, and give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has two basic parts. Our people and you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom. Understand now. Brulette.
C'était sûr. Ok. 18 février 2021 donc. Celui-là m'attire un peu.
And with
bon, on n'a pas vu de
that, we're
gameplay,
wrapping
rien.
up our first Ubisoft Forward. Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
Ok, bah je m'attendais à beaucoup mieux. Hein. Je m'attendais à beaucoup mieux. Un peu plus de gameplay là, ok.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf McGeed, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone, this is Philippe Bergeron, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
So here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Burg Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story. And so here Eivor, our Viking raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Burg Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
So who exactly is Rued, and why does Eivor sort of want to pick a fight with him?
Basically, Rued comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before, Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman-to-be to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated in a previous quest, and so here this is revenge, but also accomplishing your ultimate goal.
So Fizz, as you're talking, we're seeing some of the combat of Valhalla. Can you tell us a little bit about the changes to combat this time around?
We wanted to basically add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there. And we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So it sort of fits into that, the time and the character.
Le jeu graphiquement me déçoit un peu quand même. Hein.
Oswald, he lives.
Oswald lives!
Eivor, is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally, it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? 2 days fighting over a filthy Saxon. Get him.
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued within our sights. What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued. She has her allies. They can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles, actually.
Your battle is not yet won, Oswald.
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthy and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your playstyle.
So we're not only fighting Rued here, but also his pet wolf, right?
One of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first, just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the combat. Now Rued will have extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate his wolf. But I think
quand t'esquives, le PNJ continue à taper dans le vide et tout, je trouve que c'est pas ouf. Hein. Je sais pas si vous avez vu, par exemple, dans la porte derrière, il y a des textures qui disparaissent.
Your efforts.
Des bugs de texture et tout.
Valhalla is my destiny. That fate will not be met today. Why doesn't they should be roomed, Wolfkist?
Représente pas le jeu final, ouais, bah j'espère bien parce que. Ouais, les premiers, le Assassin's Creed 2, le 3, c'était énorme.
You throw in with these wastrels, these arrogant swine?
Eivor, no! He should be tried
regarde le visage et ça, c'est pas ouf, hein.
Alright, so we've defeated Rued.
C'est pas les qualités finales, heureusement, mais.
What comes next?
Regarde le visage, il est pas ouf.
Oswald, in this case, prefers for Rued to be kept alive.
Les cheveux et ça, on voit que. On dirait qu'ils sont sur un fond vert mal géré, c'est bizarre. Hein.
So we have this choice to make, but before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit because we just did this big, grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
Right, so when coming up to an assault, it's a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a stealthy Viking, eliminating some of the assets, which ultimately would be a strategy. You can do that, and you'll have some of the ingredients or of the assets there that will have been sabotaged, but you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Rued.
Defending East Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
Pretty words, Dane. But the men of Theovard have their own battles to fight.
So we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause. But first we sort of need to do him a favor, is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side.
Ouais, c'est ça, ouais, ils ont dit... je sais plus. Et ouais, ils l'ont dit, mais... comprends parfaitement, Néo,
When
t'inquiète.
Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system.
Quand c'est un bot, je veux bien, mais là...
You have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
Bah, surtout, il n'y a aucun réalisme, quoi. En vrai, fallait pas 50 coups de hache dans la tête pour tuer quelqu'un.
Just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the eagle vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So we'll have arrows, like health consumables that are in there. So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something we wanted to play with on
Bon, le coup des armes, ça a l'air stylé quand même de pouvoir prendre les armes que tu veux, une dans chaque main.
Weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more. So they become your weapon. And so depending what your preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then you can go and choose, I'm gonna fight with this weapon and invest heavily into that.
Not only are we looting weapons, but we see something here called the Book of Knowledge. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for
players.
So here you can see the Valkyrie die that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world, so again to promote exploration and discovery. As you travel through the world and you explore locations, you can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in, put into your loadout, then go into the different locations with the different quests in the game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
Okay.
Now we've recaptured this village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do with Rued.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you. Thank you.
Eivor decided to let him live. Rued is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your road to Valhalla. So he was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation. Obviously, all of these decisions come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Rued's life, but what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her, and obviously if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory, Eivor comes in here, meets Oswald. The problems he had with Rued are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Rued and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
So, Fizz, we've completed the assault. We've gotten our hands dirty with some combat, taken down Rued. We have this big open region of East Anglia, so before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do you say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
So we see a cat here with a speech bubble above it, and you best believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm gonna talk to a cat.
Yeah, these are some of our some of my favorite moments actually in the game, where we put out a whole bunch of events throughout the territory. And it sort of rewards, again, exploration, going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the quests sort of deal more with like politics and warfare, and this shows a slightly more human nature to her. So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more. And so here, basically, like you're trying to help a kid with his cat, and ultimately get that cat to sort of join your crew as a cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it. Perfect.
So yeah, as you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat basically walking around your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
You know, speaking of the Viking longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
Yeah, so starting out on this project, I think the Viking longship is one of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have a similar version of that?
Yeah, so this is something we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into the ship. So basically, as the player is going around, you could decide to have your skald sort of sing a song for you as you row down the river. But you can also decide, depending on who the raiders are in your ship, to hear more about their lives. So you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
So here we're seeing a bit of a different view. What exactly are we looking at?
We had this on previous Assassins where you would like ride on your horse and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
So, you know, speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other. The idea was to try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Here's the silver. Now begin.
To all those whom I speak, they say Eivor's a clod.
Then you're speaking to fools and their knowledge is flawed.
Well...
How exactly do you go about being successful in one of these?
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
For my might.
Interesting. Interesting.
Wow, je vais m'endormir sur la chaise, hein, c'est fou.
Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
Yo, Alexis, comment va?
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
Oh, you looked out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
Yeah, that's it. So we gave Eivor a fishing line, so you can actually throw out a line and go catch some fish. This is used basically to play into our new health loop where the player will lose health in the world, and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here, like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests. So it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just again take it all in.
Après, ça reste de la pêche, quoi.
So this is what we call one of our offering altars. So the idea is that you find these around the world and you make offerings to it. So it'll take like animal parts and stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here what you're seeing though is sort of like a fancy version of it where as you do your offering you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff. So it's just a way for us to sort of showcase that like the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some little events. So it's our way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just, you know, the pure rar Viking or the politician, because you can imagine at some point that will grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics.
Your stealth needs work. We were close.
And it also showcases like a different facet of the world at the same time. It's not only Eivor, so it just widens the breadth of the stories that we can tell.
So who exactly are these two children?
These are kids of East Anglia. They are going through tough times with whatever Rued's been doing to the territory. And so they're just here trying to survive and basically exploit the people that are there to make offerings.
It was kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and you know, after you talk to them, you have the choice of helping them. You can, you know, give them food, give them some money, or you know, maybe just say, "Hey, good luck on your way."
And this is something we also wanted to do a lot. Like so if you were doing an event, we do it in quests as well. But we want to give a lot of this agency into players' hands so that they can sort of shape Eivor a little bit. Who she is, so it represents them a little bit more, and they can roleplay that a little bit better. And again, it just gives her like a little bit more humanity in these moments.
Provide for small walkers.
Here, large walker.
A necklace?
Yes, it's a St. Martin seal. You're welcome here anytime, large walker. You're one of us now. Visit us, okay?
I will. Take care now, small green walkers.
Ah oui, exact, t'as des petits yeux. Je suis au bout de ma vie, gros.
So I think AC veterans might recognize this here, but what exactly is Eivor chasing down?
Yeah, so here you're seeing Eivor running down one of our tattoo images. So this is challenging the player on free run abilities, but also for fans of the series, sort of pulling at their heartstrings for some beloved features.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes. By collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos everywhere. So again, another form of expression, and it's sort of to represent that Viking culture.
Pas non plus à 100%.
Fizz, one of my favorite things when I was just out there exploring East Anglia was coming upon a house or a building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there, there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and, you know, found a way in.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where we wanted the exploration to make you feel smarter. So we played a lot with puzzle solving, so making sure that every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore, it's not given to you. You still have to work for it a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better feeling for the exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind any of these locations which we've crafted. So it gave us a little bit more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of a story.
En jeu avec le ray tracing, etc., ça va être sublime, mais là avec la qualité vidéo, ça rend tellement dégueulasse.
A poor victim of someone's fury.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the world, I was just wandering and came across this clearing and found this kind of morbid altar.
Yeah, so this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores, she can find altars like this, and by interacting with them, here it's a trap that's been set by this character named Regan. Now, there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will. And basically have this awesome boss fight in the middle of the swamps. And so here the abilities that you see Regan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning in that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter, and so that's sort of what lets us go into the realm of the weird.
Spirit of my father's rage, fill me!
Enough is cracking and shaking. Arrest your demons.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyria.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it's still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
So we just had a really exciting, really intense boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming now.
Yeah, it's all about pacing yourself with the highs and the lows. So here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world, will find these sort of meditative areas where you have a pile of rocks that you could just stack on top of another using physics. And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Together we stack stones into cairns.
On va avoir des mini-jeux pour construire des tours de cailloux.
Yes. Think of this as a test of mind and wit. Stack the cairn stones high and wide into any shape you like.
I mean, you can spend as much time as you want building these things, making them as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure like a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there. And so that's yours, right? And until the moment where you come back and you want to build a new one, it's sort of cool that we were able to give that to players to express themselves.
At this point in the demo, we've explored East Anglia, we've met some children, we've broken into a house, we fought a boss, we built a cairn. I think now it's finally time to go and head off to Oswald's wedding.
Yeah, so this is the moment it's all been building up to. By the moment you get into the territory, sort of like mentioned by Oswald, that he's trying to get married with his Dane lady. And so as you go through the arc, that's sort of like the underlying thread. Really, it's about Rued creating turmoil in the territory and helping Oswald get above that and show that he's a good leader. And so you finally, after going through all of that arc, finally get these two together, go through their wedding, and you're invited to attend the ceremony. And then all the activities and fun times that comes afterwards.
Yeah, as much as we've seen the brutal side of England, it's nice to see the joyous side of it as well.
Yeah, and it's something we really wanted to play on in Valhalla, where being a Viking is not only about being a raider or warrior. I mean, there's revelry, there's feasting, there's partying that goes, and like if someone knows how to party, it's a Viking. And so here, this is one of our opportunities to sort of show what a sort of Viking gathering is. And what's cool here is it's a good alliance of Norse culture with Saxon culture, sort of smashing those two things together and building bridges.
Yeah, I mean, what's a wedding without some drunk archery, right?
Yeah, so anything can happen in a Viking event, right?
Ça existait à l'époque, faut savoir.
Here, just get drunk, shoot some arrows.
Barely a challenge.
Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding race. The king and his bride against all.
My king.
So here we see the decision I made to spare Rued came back to bite us.
Yep, that's the decision you made coming back. So as we said before, all of your decisions have consequences, and this is a big one.
I challenge you.
I accept.
You're basically presented with the option to sort of step in for Oswald, fight the fight for him, or let him go and fight his own fight.
Yeah, you know, personally, I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what she started.
Plank by plank, and a dead king cannot keep his oaths. Let me finish this.
Oswald, you gutless Arya swine! I'll slay the wolf-kissed, then hang you with your own tongue.
How does this encounter with Rued differ from our previous fight with him?
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him. And so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly earlier on in the fight. So it's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you. And so this is a fight to the death.
On se croirait au catch, quoi. Même quand tu touches pas, ça touche.
And of course here, like, this is a decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have let Oswald fight his own fight and prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Rued, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion. But ultimately, in all scenarios, you still have an alliance with Oswald. He's proven to be the right leader for this territory and to be a good ally for you.
Great service. I promised you an alliance, and now you have it.
And one day I will need you to make good on that alliance.
So we're about to take off from the wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check up on her friend Finner.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very on. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on the ship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet and bring them along for adventures.
Together.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. Fizz, thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Ok.
everybody, thanks for joining us. My name is Eric Pope. I'm the Senior Community Developer on Hyperscape.
And I'm Graham Jennings. I'm the Senior Producer on Hyperscape. Hyperscape's now in its open beta phase, so you can go to Uplay and download it directly.
So a little while back, we recorded a match for you so we could walk through it moment to moment, explain what's going on throughout a match of Hyperscape. There's a lot going on with hacks, guns, the gameplay. So Graham and I are going to walk you through it right now, and I hope you'll enjoy.
So at the start now, you'll see the insertion phase. There's the 3 of them in the squad, so they're trying to decide on where they want to go. It looks like Helios, which is one of the landmarks, is going to be one of the choices.
So all the places we're seeing on the map right now with like a name above it, that tends to be a higher loot area, would you say?
For one of the big yellow letter ones like this one, this is one of the landmarks. Landmarks tend to have higher density and higher quality loot overall.
Which also means most people will be going there, so you might have...
Usually have a few more friends if you go to a landmark. So in this case though, he's gone outside and he's found a supply crate. So he's starting to loot these instead, so he's looking for both hacks and
écoutez, je vais laisser tourner un petit peu, je vais aller chercher à boire.
So the looting phase, many folks will be familiar with, but in Hyperscape you do have those supply crates that you may be lucky enough to find. And what's the deal with supply crates?
So supply crates are placed around the world, so you'll hear them and then you can go and find them, and then inside them you'll find weapons and hacks. Usually you find slightly better weapons and hacks within them. Here now we've switched, so we're looking at Chimera instead. So he's in the landmark, he's in Helios now, and he's still in the looting phase. But as you can see from the red triangle up there, there's actually some friends or not friends in there with him just now.
Yeah, so the action gets started, okay, right here.
Yeah, so he's one-on-one, he's going with the Mammoth shotgun against someone who's using the heal hack at the minute, which is the red circle you can see. So that player's taking extra health at that point.
Which looks like it helped him hold his ground against that mammoth.
And I believe it helped him survive at that point. There seems to be a few other players in here just now, so the combat started and elimination's got his first kill. Oh no, so he's just been eliminated actually.
Yeah.
So he just, he's been eliminated and he's turned into an echo now. So he's going to wait for his friends to bring him back. So he's going to go to one of these restore points, which are basically places where someone else from another squad's been eliminated, and you can be restored and brought back to life at one of those points.
So the action pretty much never stops in the game. If you're eliminated, you're not out.
You're not stuck watching a camera with someone else. You're still playing with someone else. You're still playing, you can inform your squad as to what's going on, and then you can be restored at one of those points. There's plenty of people, like you said, who ended up at Helios at the end. There's at least 3 other squads.
So we can also see when you have a teammate who needs a revive, it's called out on your...
Yeah, the green icon you can see at the side is him calling for a revive at this point. So Mr. Gomi's busy eliminating other players, which will cause more revive points to appear as well. This guy's low on health, so I don't think he's going to last long.
Okay, so I see once someone's eliminated, they drop a revive point that you can use.
What you'll actually see at the minute now is both Chimera and Elimination are both echoes, so it's just Mr. Gomi by himself at present time. So can he survive this and get through? He's going again. There's still a few other players in here, that's for sure. So that was the slam hack he used there. So basically he projected himself up in the air, he landed, he dealt some damage, and he's managed to
c'est pareil, ce jeu il est cool, mais il est pas...
Pretty good.
And then he's starting to bring back Chimera at this point, so he's now back into the game.
Right.
So he's got to reloot and find new weapons again, because when you are eliminated, you go back to just your melee weapon.
Okay, so you don't hold on to your gear when you get eliminated.
No. So this is the start of the decay you can see. So you see all these blue triangles that are appearing. This is how we basically do, map size reduction to bring players towards a smaller map into the center. So instead of having a circle that shrinks, we've decided to actually dissolve the map.
And is it kind of the same? Will you always know which districts are decaying first?
You can see from the map when you bring it up what's going, and you'll also see the icon when he turns on the left-hand side of the screen a second ago, which shows you where the safe area is. So at the top it will show you sector is closing, and then you've got the little icon of the person running with a distance against it. That tells you where to go to the next safe place.
So I see Mr. Gummy has pinged that spot to sort of regroup outside of the landmark.
They're going to take some height as well to start to be able to look for other players and to keep themselves a little bit safe. So he's seen another player, so he's starting to throw salvos at him, and probably the skybreaker too. You see the red exclamation mark? That's basically his teammates pinging and saying, hey, there's an enemy over here. and he's been shot out from behind, so there's definitely players around. You'll see him going to go high again to try and take some positional advantage to get up, because he knows there's another team on the roof up there. He doesn't want to be below them, especially not with his salvo grenade launcher.
Well, what I'm noticing is that they're doing a good job of switching from street level to the rooftops. Is that kind of a good way to approach a game of Hyperscape, to not just stay in one area?
You should really use the variety between streets, interiors, and rooftop for navigation and to keep yourself safe. Rooftops are great to see what's going on, but you're also then a target to snipe. So you really need to adjust height and interior, exterior as you go, just to keep yourself safe. And to aggressively loot too, to find the best stuff.
So he just picked up a golden Skybreaker. What is the
Le vocal est ouvert pour ceux qui veulent venir parler dans Discord.
So basically, you can have a level 5 Skybreaker, which is what he just picked up. We will fusion weapons together. So if you have a Skybreaker and you find another Skybreaker, it will go to level 2. Find another one, it will go to level 3. And what he has now, as you can see in the bottom bar there with the yellow, he has the top tier of the Skybreaker, so this does more damage. So each time you fusion something, a weapon or a hack, it will go up in various different abilities.
So you're basically, just to loot up, to fuse up, you just need to find a duplicate of your weapon or hack, and that's all.
Yeah. So you'll see though, on the left, when you see the other players' names, you can see that Mr. Gomi has 2 yellow weapons and a yellow hack. So he has 2 fully fused weapons and 1 fully fused hack.
And how does healing work in this game?
So healing will either work by I took damage and then I retreated and your health bar will come back up, or if a player has a heal hack, which he actually does at present time, so you see that in the bottom it says heal, he can throw that on the ground and then there'll be an AoE of heal, so both you and your teammates can come into it and it will heal you.
And enemies cannot heal up in that same AoE?
They can't heal up in your AoE, but they could also use the heal hack themselves if they wish.
Cool.
So you see them now, they're starting to hunt again. I guess they've called some other players. You can see them starting to move around. There's a sense they're not alone at this point. And there's a ping for an enemy, so yeah, the combat started again.
Stop.
So this guy finds himself in the middle of a bunch of the 3 players, so he's not in the best spot just now. And yeah, that's the end of it. So if you manage to fusion one of his hacks then again. So here you'll see the decay started. The player found himself out in the decay as it was starting. He had no cover left, so you find yourself out in the open, and they eliminated him with a Ripper at that point. And another one down for elimination. He seems to be on a roll at this point.
And now he's fully fused his sniper rifle, the Protocol V.
Still quick check, just make sure there's no one else coming in. You don't want to have someone behind you at the last minute.
5 squads.
So there's still 5 teams left.
It's worked out well for him.
Yeah. The case starting to happen in this region too, so they're starting to move forward a little bit. They have a nice variety of weapons between them. You know, someone's got a salvo, there's a Skybreaker, there's a Ripper. They really split in terms of hacks and weapons, so they have a nice diverse selection in terms of game style. So you see him go up high now, he's probably going to use a Skybreaker. And he has, and that's the end for Takeshi Kazuya.
Takeshi Casualing, so now you mentioned that username. You'll notice if you've been watching the feed, the usernames all seem pretty similar in this match. What's the story with that?
So this is the feature of Ghost Streamer protection, so it allows you to anonymize who's in the game. So this is basically what this poor player's managed to find themselves in the corner and tried to hide. Unfortunately, they've been chased in there by someone with a fully fused salvo.
T'as remonté le son de ton micro un peu?
So they've swapped now and they've gone to the Mammoth instead. So they've swapped out to the shotgun. So it's quick to change your playstyle.
Parce que moi je peux pas monter peut-être un peu comment je t'entends parce que là.
And that countdown that just finished was a health kit.
Je t'entends mais tellement mal que je sais pas ce que tu dis en fait. Le volume de sortie, vas-y parle voir.
Là c'est mieux.
Ah oui c'est mieux. Ok. Bon alors t'as suivi un peu cette conférence?
Non.
Bravo.
Players triggering these events somehow?
So there's 2 different ways this happens. So there's a game master, Grace, who plays them in this.
De quoi?
J'avais pas reçu la notification de ton live.
Ah, bah, bravo. Bon, bah, on a vu beaucoup d'Assassin's Creed Valhalla. On a vu Watch Dogs Legion. On a vu le nouveau Far Cry. On a vu là ce qu'on est en train de voir là, Hyperscape là, le Battle Royale et à peu près tout. Mais ouais, Far Cry bien hypant, pour moi. Assassin's Creed bien décevant. Ouais, vraiment. De ce qu'on a vu là, ouais. Ils ont rajouté le même système de sécurisation de zone que dans Far Cry, quoi. Et en grosse nouveauté, c'est un des rares trucs. Si tu peux mettre une arme dans chaque main. Sinon, en termes de nouveauté, c'est vraiment tout ce qu'il y a de choquant. Le reste, c'est le même jeu qu'avant, sauf avec des Vikings.
Et sinon, il est rendu avec les Vikings, ça a l'air bien ou pas?
Le rendu?
Bah, comment dire? Le fait que ce soit avec des Vikings, c'est une bonne idée ou pas?
Bah, moi, je trouve que l'idée de base est bonne, mais au final, dans le jeu, est-ce que... Je sais pas. De ce qu'on a vu, je te dis, le jeu me hype pas vraiment, mais... Après, oui, l'idée de base de mettre des Vikings, ouais. Mais là, réellement, de ce qu'on a vu, on a perdu totalement l'esprit Assassin's Creed. Hein. T'as plus la secte des assassins, machin, mes couilles, c'est fini ça. C'est juste un connard qui est un viking, quoi, qui va conquérir des terrains, quoi. C'est vraiment juste ça, quoi. C'est plus Assassin's Creed, quoi.
C'est plus du tout.
Pour moi, hein. Pour moi, après, c'est plus Assassin's Creed. Ils auraient mis un autre nom de jeu, ça serait passé crème. Hein.
Ah oui, parce que du coup, en fait, c'est le personnage principal qui est un viking.
C'est quoi?
C'est le personnage principal, le viking.
Ouais, bah en fait, tu vas être le viking. Et en fait, t'as déjà vu la série Viking?
Non, ça me dit un truc, mais je vois pas là.
Bah, c'est exactement ça, en fait. Tu vas être une armée de vikings, tu vas débarquer en Angleterre, et tu vas essayer de t'installer en Angleterre, parce que les Anglais vont pas être d'accord. C'est ça, et donc tu vas te battre contre les Anglais, et puis... C'est exactement, c'est le speech de la série, c'est le speech du jeu, vraiment.
En fait, c'est le jeu sur la série.
C'est ça, voilà, c'est exactement ça. Sauf qu'ils ont changé les noms des personnages. Voilà, mais sinon, ouais, c'est plus ou moins ça. Et je t'ai dit, dans le gameplay, il n'y a rien de révolutionnaire. Ils n'ont pas raccroché l'histoire Assassin's Creed derrière, quoi, avec le... En tout cas, on n'a pas vu l'animus et toutes ces conneries, là, que dalle, c'est fini, ça.
Après, ça se trouvait, il réserve une surprise.
Ouais. Ouais, je suis pas sûr. Hein. Je sais pas. Puis juste pour progresser, tu vas devoir attaquer des villes et... En fait, comme les zones dans Far Cry, je sais pas si t'as déjà joué à Far Cry. Bah, ça va être ça. Tu vas conquérir les zones et puis... Et puis voilà. À la fin, tu souffles dans la corne pour dire que la zone, elle est complétée et c'est fini. Ça a pas l'air enjaillant. Hein. Far Cry, du coup, on n'a pas vu de gameplay, on a juste vu le trailer. Celui-là, il donne un petit peu envie. Mais bon. Mais bon. Je t'ai dit, je sais pas. Après, comme t'as pas vu, c'est difficile de débattre avec toi, mais...
Ouais, bah, en fait, j'attendais la notif du live, mais bah, du coup, je l'ai pas eu.
Bravo. Et du coup, d'ailleurs, j'ai posé la question sur YouTube, je sais pas si t'as vu, mais les lives, vous préférez les voir sur YouTube ou vous préférez les voir sur Twitch?
Bah, les deux, c'est bien, non?
Bah, le truc qu'il y a, c'est quand je fais les deux, c'est qu'il y a plus de latence. Et du coup, ça gâche un petit peu le live aussi. Donc,
bah, après, moi, je sais pas.
Après, si vous recevez les notifs d'aucun des deux, de toute façon. En vrai, hein.
Moi, je sais pas, après, j'ai les deux, donc en général, je vais plus sur YouTube.
C'est plus sur YouTube, ok. C'est bon à savoir. Après, bon, sur Twitch, il y a des avantages. T'as plus d'options sur Twitch, tu vois. C'est pour ça que ça me tenterait de faire plus sur Twitch, mais...
Bah, Twitch, c'est basé sur le live.
Ouais, voilà, c'est ça, mais t'as plein d'options, tu vois. Tu peux mettre... je peux faire des récompenses, pour ceux qui sont là le plus souvent et ça. Sur YouTube, c'est plus compliqué. Voilà. Mais après, bon, j'ai une plus grosse communauté sur YouTube que sur Twitch, donc je sais pas. Ici, pas.
Après, peut-être que si tu dis que tu feras que sur Twitch, peut-être qu'il y aura plus de gens.
Ouais, peut-être, je sais pas. Ça se tente. Ça se tente.
Après, du coup, bah...
Allô?
J'ai dit, bah, du coup, j'ai aucune idée du... si ce sera bien ou pas.
Ouais. Ouais, c'est dommage que t'étais pas là, parce que du coup, pour débattre...
En plus, il n'y a que moi.
Bah ouais, il y a l'autre qui m'a dit il arrive, mais voilà, je sais pas. Zatou, là, il devait venir. Putain, tant pis. Et puis même graphiquement, il est pas... Bah après, la vidéo qu'ils ont passée, elle était vraiment d'une qualité dégueulasse déjà. Je sais pas, ils ont mis... C'était affiché 1080p 60 fps, mais c'était du 480p grand max, là.
Ah ouais.
Et les visages et ça, ils semblaient pas ouf, je sais pas. Ça m'a beaucoup déçu, cette conférence. Tu sais, le seul truc qui semblait un peu beau, c'était Far Cry, mais c'était que de la cinématique. Forcément.
C'est sûr que les cinématiques, c'est toujours plus beau que le jeu en lui-même.
Bah, c'est ça. C'est pour ça on peut pas juger. Et les jeux, on a eu du gameplay, Watch Dogs et ça semblait pas super beau. Enfin, en fait, ce qu'il y a, c'est que ça semblait début PS4, quoi, alors qu'on arrive à PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, c'est ça qui pique, quoi. Tu vois.
Alors que ça devrait être encore...
Bah ouais. Ouais. Bon bah écoute, il n'y a pas plus de monde, déjà je vais couper le live. Donc merci à tous ceux qui ont suivi, merci à tous, bonne soirée, bonne nuit, et bah du coup merci d'avoir été là, on se dit à bientôt, ciao tout le monde, c'était Crouch Gaming, salut, bye bye, ciao, tchou.